color.
Thank you.
I just want to see that. Yeah. I know you're so
Everybody
profound.
says
I don't want to miss something. You may,
No, please.
hit us with something hot, and then I wouldn't get it,
Oh,
and stuff like
no.
that. So what's up with this new album? Why are you so happy now?
I love the way you worded that. Why? My life has just changed. See, I'm running a red light. There you have it.
That's where I'm gonna start out. First thing.
She runs a red light. My life has just changed, and you can either focus on the negative or the positive, and I've learned that. And having such great friends, and I feel true friends around me, they've helped me a great deal, and this is the space that I'm in. I mean, there's still things going on, but that's not the only thing that's happening in my life. And I'm focusing on the positive, and that's what this album is about. And I'm experiencing things I never experienced before, and I'm having a good time. I really am.
What are you experiencing that you've never experienced before?
I'm experiencing dating. I never did that before. And I truly feel like a kid again. Ooh, it's cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, growing up sheltered and being Jehovah's, well, my mother was a Jehovah's Witness, so we went to the Kingdom Hall all the time. You're not supposed to think about any of that stuff unless you're thinking about getting married, so you don't do those things. So think about it. The two people that I really got involved with, I wound up marrying.
Yeah.
And there's only one other kid that I actually dated. We weren't supposed to be dating. He was a witness. And when they found out, we had to break up. That was actually my very first boyfriend.
Wow. Was that like, it doesn't really matter. You talk about like how it doesn't matter what my family said, what my family thinks and everything like that. Was that like a relationship you were in that people kind of didn't approve of, the first one?
Well, because of the religion.
Right.
He was baptized. He was a lot older than me. I was only 15. And
how old was he?
He was 19.
That's not a lot.
Well, he was considered that he could have gotten in trouble for being with a minor.
Well, okay.
For one.
Yeah.
And then for two, he was, no, I'm not like 25 or nothing.
I thought you were going to say like 43. I was like,
no. Nothing like that, and then also being a witness, and he was baptized, so we weren't supposed to be seeing each other, really.
Right.
So.
What attracted you to him?
I thought he was 12. He looked like a baby. What attracted me to him? I wasn't into boys. You get that point where you start looking at guys.
Right.
I hadn't started looking at guys yet. Everyone felt so badly about the way I treated him. From my mother to my brother. He was a friend of my brother's. And they was like, Jenny, give him a chance. He seems like a nice kid. And before I knew it, I'm kissing this kid. So that's how it all kind of started. Then I started liking him.
Do you remember your first kiss?
My first kiss was, like kiss or my just first kiss?
I mean, kiss.
My first kiss was with Todd when I
was with him.
Strokes.
Oh, really? On screen? Oh, that's right. You said that before.
Yeah, that was like my first kiss.
Did you like it so much that you quickly kind of, what'd you say?
With all the extra stuff in it.
What did you like? Was it kind of addictive? Were you like, oh, this is good. I need to go out and try this again?
Well, I always had this thing for watching people kiss on television, even when I was a kid. And Randy used to always, every time someone would kiss on TV, Randy would stare right at me. Like, watching television, you'd turn and there's a soap opera and they're kissing, and Randy would look right at me because he knew I liked to watch people kissing.
Right.
I used to get so embarrassed, but I'd still sit there and watch.
Did your parents kiss much? Did you watch them?
No, I don't think I've ever seen my parents kiss.
Wow.
Isn't it a mess? Look at this.
It's all your fault. I'm not.
Look at there's ice on the window. I can't get that on.
Because at first I thought they were like, oh, she's in LA. So I'm like, okay, that's nice. Go to LA.
I know, right?
Like Minneapolis.
It's not that bad though right now.
So then what's dating like? I mean, are you dating a lot of different people? Or are you trying to like keep the numbers down? So what?
There's not really that much time. I mean, I do it, but there's not really that much, especially right now. A lot of different people. Yeah, just different people. There's no person in particular. Just enjoying myself like a teenager would, actually. I mean, I feel so silly in saying that in so many ways, only because here I am about, 34? And you would have thought I would have gone through this whole phase by now, which, I mean, the average person has. But it's something new for me. And my friends are teaching me. and you don't think that he's asking. I said, well, I don't want to just assume like he's trying to tell me that he wants.
Right.
I'd rather for him to just be upfront about it instead of beating around the bush. And they said, please, I mean, how many hints do you need?
Right.
But I don't want to sit there with egg on my face, look like a fool. So I'm not the greatest at getting the hints unless they just say it straight out, straightforward. But I'm enjoying myself.
Okay, describe to me the last date you went on. Just like how it went down. What's like a Janet date?
A Janet date?
Well, describe the last one you went on. I want to know the last date you went on. Not tell me who, but just tell me what's the last. How did it go down?
I went to dinner. It was nice. I went to dinner. Went back to my place and we talked. And that was it.
How did you end the date? Like, because like you're in a date, okay. I'm serious. Follow me. Okay, you're in a date, you're at dinner, and you decide, okay, I like this person enough for them to go back to my place, but I'm not sure what's going to go down yet, right? So then it's like, what's going through your mind? Like, how do you make that decision about each stage of the date? Is it going to go from A to B? Is it going to go to A from B to C? Or is it going to go from like C to D? How do you make those decisions?
Well, I feel like I really have to get to truly know the person a little bit. It's not like I'm so embarrassed talking about this. I truly am. I don't know what you call it. I really have to get to know the person before anything else is to really happen. But sometimes you just kind of, I guess, can't help yourself, I suppose. And things just happen. You get caught up in the moment. Things happen, which aren't so bad as long as you know what it really is.
Right.
And as long as you're on the same understanding that that's all that it truly is.
Sex.
Basically, yeah.
You can say it.
Yeah.
Then that's cool.
Then that's okay. But I'm not. You're really making me embarrassed, Kevin.
Why am I making you embarrassed?
You are.
Okay, well, let me tell you. You spent a lot of your career, okay, talking about sex, but talking about it really in terms of like sort of sex is getting to know somebody else, sex is intimacy and everything like that. And I mean, a lot of the sex that you talk about is really sort of that sex that you have with somebody that you've been with for a long time, sort of when you're getting to layers of intimacy. It's about really connecting and going deeper and deeper. Things like how close can we get? So does your conception of sex become different when you're with somebody that you really may not have had that long a relationship with, or may not have that long a relationship with after that? You know what I mean? Like, is the sex different? Or how is it different?
Yeah, for myself it is different. It definitely is different. See, Craig, you're going to give me in so much trouble.
I'm not going to get you in trouble, Janet. Your lyrics, wait a minute. Your
I'm
lyrics.
You give me in trouble. You're talking about my lyrics, right? Well, see, now you understand. When you talk about intimacy and in the way that I talk about having sex, it's like as if I had been with someone for a very long time.
Exactly, which you were at the time when you were writing.
Exactly, and being married, all those
right.
things. But it is different. I mean, it's never the same as when you first are with someone for the first time. Even if it's someone that you wind up eventually having a long-term relationship with, it still becomes different. You may be intimate, but it's not to the same levels as it, and that's the part I absolutely love when if there's a newness. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
That I absolutely love. That is very sexy within itself. There's a little bit of awkwardness in that that I think is very sexy.
Okay.
It isn't the same. And there's something that's kind of nice about that. But after a while, at some point, you want someone to call yours. I'm not to that point yet, though. Are you hot?
Yes, I'm like burning up.
Okay.
I know it was the topic.
I can sit here and just keep the... Yeah, but I'm not at that point because I feel like I've been in relationships all my life, really. So, like I said, I'm just I'm having fun. I'm being safe, but I'm having a good time.
I mean, you of course you talk and about AIDS and stuff like that so much in your music and giving to charities and what have you. I mean, do you think about that more, like being out there and having sex and being single and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, you do. Of course you do. But I should say, of course I do. But you just have to do the best you can. Be very careful, or become celibate, I suppose, really. And yeah, I don't think I can ever do that.
You'll be celibate?
I just didn't.
What would you have to think about?
I know, right? But I enjoy it too much, really, to do something like that. That's just me.
Right.
That's just me. And so I'm careful, very careful.
Well, like, okay, I used to be, I was in a relationship with this guy for like 8 years, okay? When I was very young. I started when I was like 20-something. And at around that time, and part of that, I used to go around and teach people safer sex and stuff, and I was always like, oh, use a condom every time, do all this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it was very easy for me to say that because at the time, I was in a long-term relationship, and, different things happen when you're with somebody for long-term and you're kind of have a certain degree of trust,
Right.
When we broke up and I started having to go out there and like test intimacy and doing things with different people, I found that message got a lot harder for me to say, or like I could understand why like a lot of people, it was just a much more difficult message. I mean, do you see that at all? And do you see that like...
I mean, trust becomes a major factor. I mean, that becomes a major factor, period. And I'm sure you found that out as well when you got out there in the world. And not to say that you were with everybody that you had a date with. I mean, no, it's true, though. But at the same time, it's like those things go through your head. They really do. I mean, a lot of things go through your head. But if that were the case, then I'd probably never date. I'd probably never be with anyone else again. If I let that control my life, you can't. And not to keep repeating myself, but to try to be as safe as I possibly can, and obviously not be with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you go out with, but you enjoy yourself and you try to be as wise as possible.
So, I mean, like, do you feel that dating at this point is in some ways better because maybe you know yourself more, so you're less likely to, I don't know, maybe do some of the stupid things that people do?
Well, when you're younger?
Yeah,
I mean, I think you pretty much know right off the bat the feeling that you get from being on your date. It's like, oh, God, and everything's about me, speaking of the other person, and you're just kind of tired of hearing it. And there's nothing really other than to talk about their body or working out or this or that, or as opposed to having a profound conversation.
Right.
So, knowing more about yourself being older and going through certain things, experiencing certain things in your life, you get a feel for it, a sense for it.
Do you have a clear sense of how much you're willing to sacrifice not to be alone? No?
That's a good question. How much I'm willing to sacrifice?
Or not willing to sacrifice. Like, I mean, because none of us want to be alone, right? But it's like there are different things that we're willing to sacrifice or give up in order to not be alone, in order to be with somebody. Whether or not it's you're putting up with somebody's bad habits, you're putting up with that. And it's like, where's your line? Where won't you go in order to have somebody kind of in your life?
Well, I think that comes with any relationship, and that's just a part of love, really. Because everyone has their what do they call them? Their little, what's the word?
Idiosyncrasies.
Yes, that's it, exactly. Idiosyncrasies. And when you love someone, you will put up with those things, and to realize that you cannot change that person, and are you willing to be with that person, whether they are willing to change or not, because that is what makes them who they are. That comes with love.
But isn't there a line? Like, isn't there a line where it's like...
Yeah, if someone constantly picks their butt and sniffs, could I deal with that? Could I deal with having this like a fetish? No, that's my line.
But I mean, that's what people that are like in abusive relationships and stuff, I mean, they do think that they're just kind of putting up with a quirk of the person they're with. I mean, at first, that's how they rationalize it. You know what I mean?
There's also part of them that feels that that's their way of showing love. and that if they're not abusive, then they don't feel that they're getting any love from them.
Right. So it's like, how do you know? It's like, how do you ever know whether or not you're sacrificing your own, like, dignity or whatever to be with a person? You know what I mean? Like, how do you...
Now you kind of lost me a little bit.
I mean, it's like, where do you find that line, like, between putting up with somebody because you love them and sort of knowing when that's going too far, that's actually, like, affecting you as a person? You know what I mean? That's not something healthy for you to do.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, I would say when you're having second thoughts, when you feel that it's bringing you down, when you feel that you're stagnant, when you feel that you can't move one way or another, when it's really bothering you in some sort of way, when it's becomes a major issue and it's affecting your work, things like that. For myself, then there's something, because ultimately, as selfish as it sounds, you have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
And I learned that, and in order to be able to take care of someone else and be there for them, you have to be there for yourself. And when things start to get like that, it's unhealthy. It's an unhealthy relationship, and then that's where you have to decide whether you want to continue in this unhealthy relationship or as painful as it may be, and you're still in love with that person, but get out and move on. Well, we're here.
It's already... Back, so this is where you record?
Yeah. This is flight time.
All out here.
And that's from
This is where the magic is made.
Be careful, there's some more ice. Thank you.
This is your studio? This is the one that...
My studio. Studio B. It smells like my candles.
What kind of smell is that?
My candles, it's Empire Celeste. It's my innocent candle number.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy?
Oh, this is cute. This is where you hang out. Oh my God, Mariah was in your room? What all does she like? Does it bug you when other people work with them? Like, did he work with them and then he feels so earnest?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. Not at all.
It's just so funny though, like, I mean, that, you know, it seems like every time you have a new album come out, people are like, oh, she's still going to work with them, she needs to get some fresh people and stuff like that, and then you'll always work together, it always comes out hot, and then they keep being hot. You know, now it seems like it's almost like they're new producers with their new deal and working with all these people. People are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess people like to see you switch it up, but I'm very comfortable with him. We have a great relationship, and I feel like it's not broken to me.
Right.
And you know, we had decided that with this album we wanted to do something with rock. I wanted to do something with him, and so we did. So Jimmy and myself have worked on something together, and it's been a great relationship. We've had great success, and there's something that I'm a true believer in.
It seems like kind of at heart you sort of like long-term relationships. You like, or just relationships. Like, you don't seem to be the type of person that likes, you know, whether it's what we're talking about in the car or whether or not it's in producer.
No, but you're absolutely right. I do like relationships. You're absolutely right.
So you can show me around.
Sure.
What's your favorite album? Don't say the new one.
I won't. Don't worry. The ones that I've done?
Yeah.
That's Jimmy's office. This is Jimmy's
Okay.
office.
Keith.
And you'll play with the ends and the... But all offices are for the most part. My favorite album, I think... I think Rhythm Nation.
Really? Why's that?
And Janet.
Okay. Why?
Well, Rhythm Nation because of the message and how it has helped so many people.
Mhm.
And that's what I really tried to set out to do with it. This is Studio C. This is where I recorded that track.
Okay.
Right here. Johnny Davis here.
Wow.
And a lot of people come here. Jordan, Ryan was just here working out his Backstreet was just here.
All five of them in this little place.
I don't know about that. They just that. I know Kevin.
Which Backstreet Boy do you think's cutest?
All my friends go crazy over Kevin.
Over Kevin? Really? What's up? What? I don't think that's the question I asked.
You're talking about me.
That's the
I know.
question
See,
I
I
asked.
know my friends. But I like I don't know.
Come on, Janet.
I like I like. And it's horrible. I can't think of his name right now. I like the little edgy one a little bit.
Oh, the one with all the hair, the facial hair and stuff?
Yeah, it's because of his
AJ?
AJ. This is Studio A. This is a lot of recording streams. Streams for that. And we recorded a lot of the piano pieces.
Oh, wow.
AJ. Yeah, because of his whole look,
Mm-hmm.
his edge. I guess that's another side that I actually like that.
That what?
Rugged.
Oh, you like edgy guys? Thugs? What?
I didn't
I
say
can't tape a
anything.
reaction, so you have to say something.
This is Alex's thing.
He was playing your single, right? Hey.
Craig.
Hey, Craig,
Nice
how
to
you
meet
doing,
you.
man? Nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Oh, that's Rich.
Great to meet you. She's just showing me around.
How you doing today?
She's not telling me anything good, though.
Smelling good.
It's hard to tell me, so she's not answering questions. It's been very difficult.
Oh, really? Really? Oh, yeah. She's like that in the studio, too, though.
Oh,
But don't
really?
write that.
It's on tape now.
It's all a joke. You heard us all. Yeah.
He wants to know which Backstreet Boy I think is the cutest, and I said, well, my friends think
That's not a
Kevin's
question,
the cutest.
right?
And he goes, that's not what I asked. And I said, that isn't what you asked, is it? And I started laughing. It's the truth.
Oh, yeah.
So this new album good?
Evasive. Wait, me? You're asking me?
You're not asking me.
I'm
you're
asking
looking
her
at me.
now.
I didn't see what you were looking
Is
at.
this new album good?
I think it's better than good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, are we saying great, or is there some word between good and great?
Well, don't ask me that because I
She never gives anything more than a good. Like if we get done with something and it sounds great, and I'll go, doesn't that sound great? She'll go, yeah, it's really good. And that's all she ever gives it up. And you know,
Even in retrospect, like even if you listen to, like you were saying, you like Rhythm Nation, you like Janet, so can you listen to those records and go, damn, that was great. I mean, if you thought it was good, then you still don't think they're great.
I like them a lot. I think they're really good. You know what it has to do with? It doesn't have to. It has to do with the work that my portion, what's the word?
contribution.
Thank you. To the album, not anything to do with Jimmy and Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ask me about that, then I would definitely say I think it's awesome.
Okay.
It's incredible. But the minute that
So you
starts
combine
up-
our awesome, you suck, and we end up with really good, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
There you go.
You got it, Jimmy.
So why is it so great? Why is this new one so great? Since you didn't ask me what my favorite album was, so now I'm not going to tell you. But I asked, she said her favorites were Rhythm Nation and Janet. So why is this one so great?
I like Velvet Rope too, though, for the message. That's
Okay.
just something, a little private little thing. But I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. I'm going to get some water while you guys.
Okay.
Would you like something, Chris?
I'd love something.
Why is this album great?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it was great yet. I just said it's.
No,
I just said it's
you
better.
didn't say it was great.
No, it's
Why
better
are you
than
gonna
good. It's better than good right now.
say- Okay.
I'll say it's great when it's totally done and assembled and
So why is it so better than good?
just feels really good. It's an album that'll make you smile. It's a bunch of very upbeat, happy songs. It sounds like, Top Down on the Car, Sunny Day, and it's not really just Alex pointed out to me that on all her records there's a couple of like really happy songs that kind of give you that feel.
Right.
But on this album there's a ton of those kind of
Wow.
songs.
So what kind of like Because of Love-ish songs or like?
Yeah, the
That
Because
kind
of
of
Love, When I Think of You,
Okay.
Right through Doesn't Really Matter, I think had a little of that to it. Together Again had a little of that to it. I think all of those songs. But yeah, it's just a very happy,
so much.
upbeat record. And, I just think it makes us smile when we listen to it.
Really?
We're always like sort of the first, not the first, well, I'll say the first fans because I'm a fan of Janet. So when I hear the songs, I'm a fan of the songs because of what she's done with them. And then I think hopefully my opinion will be the opinion of the masses, hopefully, and we'll have a really successful record. But I think for us, the record is successful at the point it leaves the studio.
Right.
If we feel like we've done a good job on it and we're happy with it, then it's successful. And then whatever happens after that is really out of our hands. So we can't really control that.
Well, so what's up with Velvet Rope? I mean, it's like, just talking to you all now, it's like I almost get the feeling like you're sort of like wounded by the reaction to that or something like that.
Well, I'll just speak for me, not in the
Okay.
least.
Okay, so I'm reading
Not
that
in the
wrong.
least.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and once again, when I say it's out of your hands, I mean it's out of your hands. I mean, Velvet Rope, there was a lot of issues with timing, with sort of a change of guard at the record company.
Right.
There was a whole lot of things that went into that didn't have to do to me musically or anything else. I think that the success of ultimately Together Again and I Get Lonely and those singles, and obviously the success of the tour,
Yeah.
basically showed that what we did was a very honest record. The cool thing about Jen is the record's always very honest, or whatever she's feeling. And so, I think, no, for me, I'm very happy with Velvet Rope, but I think that the reason we're maybe a little not hesitant about it, but we don't talk about it with the same joy, I guess you'd say, that we talked about, Rhythm Nation and the Janet album, is just because of the subject matter of it, that it was just, it was a little darker time. And that darkness that's gone. So, but this is not my interview, it's her.
Oh, really? Just, like, I'll stand on the... We're not even standing down.
Jimmy, you're really good at this. I think
Yes,
you should get it.
Absolutely not.
Well, Janet wouldn't answer any questions. So. Okay, so we're going this way.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome.
This is... And actually, Marty and Sean are here. And we shot the video already for Icon. There's a few things that we need to tweak. And also, in the video, it's all girls. And I'm bringing in... When I go to Europe, that sounds very demonic, doesn't it? When I go to Europe, I'm bringing in the dancers that I chose for tour.
Okay.
So they had to switch some stuff up and change things around. So they've been working on it since I've been there.
Is this really the way you want me to hear your first single?
Yeah.
It sounds very staticky.
So you haven't heard it?
No, I've heard like 30 seconds of it. You talked about some guy's package.
Size clean.
So you're saying you are?
Well, no, he knows.
What'd you say?
I was on the road and I was doing an interview for American. And he just realized, he said, okay, so are you a size queen? And I said, you know what, honestly, I am. I said, I can't lie. He started laughing. And I said, well, you asked me, and I was just being honest about it. So ever since then, kids tease me about this whole thing about being a size queen. This is, as you can see, the game.
Yeah, right.
Which I haven't been doing much time to. I haven't been in for a long time. And then we play video games.
So now, okay, so you just said you're a size queen, and then you're talking about on the single how you want guys not to be intimidated to come up and talk to you.
Well, no, it's that ever since, I know, right? But they don't know that.
They
Well,
will.
now they do.
They will.
But no, it's always been that way. It's like every person that I treat like that, but I've always asked them out. And that's what I was saying. The intimidation. So it's like, it's the truth that I didn't know that I ever know that. I'm intimidated. The wrong person's like, why couldn't your friend be?
Hey. So how do you have a nerve to tell a guy? Okay, so we were talking about like, okay, like you're on a date, and you know you're deciding which levels to go to and stuff like that. And if you see a guy, and he's like, you know, a short dick man, how do you have the nerve to tell the poor guy that he's just not going to do?
Well, that's when you fake a backing. Suddenly your back goes out.
See, so next
I
time we
learned
hear.
that from friends.
Okay.
No, but my friends are always looking at packages before a guy even walks up to them, and I can't get myself to do that just yet. This is for the people on the This is Steve Hodge, who is a friend of friend for a very long time. He helps out. And there's a little booth in there where we do a lot of percussion stuff.
Okay, you're going to have to let me sit down for a second. I'm not one of these athletic people.
I'll take you through here and then we'll go back.
Okay.
You can just give me a hand. There are the offices where all the girls work and something for
Awards.
we have awards.
Oh, Miss Jen. So do you smile when you think of that album, or when you think of, like, the whole, everything that went into it and everything?
The Janet album?
Uh-huh.
Oh, this might be like Jimmy's going to kill me for taking my through his office. You can't write about how many his office is.
Here's my notepad.
I love it though. Look at
Yeah,
this.
it looks like my desk. We're going to here?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And Jimmy's absolutely right about that whole girl. It's just, it was a very dark time in my life. And I love that album. I really do. And if I had a chance to write it again, I wouldn't change a thing. There are people that I think were ready for it, people that were right. It was a very successful album, selling over 7 million copies. Very successful.
I'm a gay man, but I'm not a size queen. Never have been. No.
You know, and my friends sometimes say, you know, Jen, it's not always about this, it's about the magic in the wand.
What did you say?
The magic in the wand.
Oh, the wind. Okay.
No, the wand.
The wand. Okay.
And then I always have to tell them, yeah, but there's nothing wrong with a big magical wand. So we joke, we have.
Right. I'll just make sure we're taping. Hold on. I don't know. Maybe a size queen that just hurts my jaw. Alright, so this is a new single. So,
Well, you know what? You have to hear it.
Yeah, I do.
I'm sure Jimmy...
I had to print it off the internet. Your people could have sent me
You're
email.
kidding. You are kidding.
No.
You printed this? All this was on the internet?
Yeah. I'm gonna say, oh, she's talking about packages again. From the smooth and shiny and
Well, you know, you can see what's
and
really...
you saw underline it, right?
What's on my mind all the
this
time.
girl. Well, anyway, let me see what I want to talk about now. Okay, so when was the last time you told somebody, let's wait a while?
That's funny. The last time. Gosh. Want me to hold it?
Don't put your hand over the mic.
The last time. The last time I told someone to wait a while. Why do you want to know the last time I told somebody to wait a while?
No, I'm interested.
Okay. Maybe a couple of months back. Don't ask me. See,
Why?
no, that's
Why?
not fair.
Why?
No, that's not fair.
But I mean, no, I'm just trying to say, like, what would be the circumstances? Because it's so different. Okay, well, let's say when you came out and you sang that song, it was really about, like, a young woman, not necessarily saying no to sex, but just saying, you know, it has to be right. The sex will be better, and my feelings will be more secure if we wait. So now that you're a different person, and you've kind of, you know, gone through all these cycles in your life, what would make you say, let's wait a while now?
Wanting to get to know someone a little bit better. It's not just always about that, even though it seems like that's the only thing that's ever on my mind, right? Truly. But just wanting to take my time with it because someone may, I get the sense of something special possibly blossoming from this. So just truly wanting to take my time and not treat it as I have before.
Well, that's interesting. So you're saying, okay, let's say if a guy's out on a date with you.
Oh,
You all
God.
had the dinner. I'm just looking back at the dinner. Okay, so you've had the dinner. You've gotten back to your place. Okay, you're all talking, blah 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 blah. And like, if you say, okay, you know, not now, but give me a call. Is that a better sign that you're interested in the person than if you say, oh, my room's back this way?
Well, that's an interest in the person, but in a different way.
Okay. Like what?
Right.
What way?
Craig, what other way other than sex?
But
Just-
what I'm saying, but would you still be interested in sex with that person, but just later? Or would that be saying, oh no, you're a friend, you know, this is cute, you can call me on my cell phone, but we're not gonna be...
Well, it could be that too, though.
Okay.
But the time that I'm thinking about that you asked me, that
Uh-huh.
would be actually it.
Okay.
Did anything truly blossom from it? No. Not in the way that I thought it was going to.
Okay.
That I thought it could have.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
I guess I say yeah. You understand.
Yeah,
You
I
understand. Yeah. Wait, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How old are you?
You're not very much older than I am.
You're
You were born
30?
what? No, I'm older than that. You were born in 66? I was born in 68. I'm 38.
You seem, your face is much younger than 32 to me.
So is yours. How do you
thank
feel when
you.
people say that? You like that?
I don't mind
You
it.
said thank you. You opened up the door.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Really? Is it something you think about more, like the older you get?
Mm-mm. I don't really pay attention to age. I have a couple of friends that freak out about it, but see, the other friends have already put this negative little bug into their minds, their ears. Oh, and then finally they turn 30, and they're thinking, oh my God, I'm getting so old, and stressing out about it. And I said, you know what? I said, being in your 30s is so beautiful. There's so much more to learn. You don't obviously change right off the bat, but you just take things differently. You don't have time for petty shit. You don't have time for all that mess. You don't have time for a lot of things that you did when you were a kid.
Right.
And you realize that life is too short and way too important to be dealing with this crap. Let me do what I need to do. And you don't waste your time with it. And as well as other stuff. But, you know, in your 30s, I feel like that kind of, well, at least that kind of came about for me. Maybe I'm a late bloomer when it came to that. But that was one of the things that really hit me in my 30s.
I remember one time, like, I guess I was about 29, like the last day I was 29, I was at a club and I got carded, and, you know, I was like, oh God, I'm 30, you know, this guy, and he was like, don't worry, like, sex gets a lot better in your 30s.
Experience. You know what they're doing. You know what you're doing, Craig?
Of course I know what I'm doing. But we are talking about you. So I can reverse the question. You know, one thing I was thinking about, like, you know, obviously you're part of so many people's lives, not just through the music, but also through the characters you played and stuff like that people, you know, even though it's like, you know, you were on Good Times for like 2 seasons, Fame for like a short period of time, people still remember these characters and stuff. So I was wondering, do you ever think about like what these people would be doing now? Like, do you think Justice would have a book deal now? Or you feel like, where would Justice be right
That's
now?
a really good question. No one's ever asked me that before, and yes, I do. I do.
What would Justice be doing?
I think she would have I think she would be very successful at this point.
Really?
And have like you said, a book deal. Be very successful in her career, in her life. She was a very strong-minded person and knew what she wanted. And she had gone through a lot, but she was so into her poetry, and that was her passion, her love. She'd definitely be right.
Oh. What about what about Cleo from Fame? Do you think would she still be stuck on Dream Street?
Dreaming. Something tells me that Cleo, she wanted it so badly, but I don't think she would have made it.
Why?
There's just something there. She wanted it, but she just didn't have. There was a softness to her, and not to say that you can have that softness, but still there has to be that strength underneath there somewhere. And I didn't see that with her. So I don't think she would have made it. I think it always would have been a dream of hers. And maybe she would have lived, I don't know, vicariously through her kids or something. Lived out her lifelong dream of being a star.
Do you ever, like, when you're auditioning people, and, like, people are coming in and auditioning in front of you to be a dancer and stuff, do you ever think about Cleo then? Like, that there are people, you know what I mean?
No. No. But you know what? We just held auditions for the video and the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an open call, and a lot of fans came. And I saw a lot of the tapes.
Mm-hmm.
And I so badly. And who knows, maybe I will someday still do this. I don't know. Or maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but I so badly wanted to take some of those kids that I saw and use them in the video somehow. Obviously, they didn't make the call as a dancer,
Right.
but to use them as extras, to put them in the video, because just for them to, first of all, that's their dream, to be a dancer, and then they really don't have the money to fly out, or even if they bust it, and just saving up their pennies for this one chance.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that they'll never get another chance again in life, but it's not easy for them is what I'm getting at.
Right.
And I felt like, you know what, these kids came all this way, the least I could do is try and put them as extras in a video. And with this last video, I actually wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it was such a crunch time that I wasn't able to do it. So I still would like to do that in the future. Some of those kids, because just the love that you see and the energy, and they were just so happy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So happy to be there.
So, what would Charlene, what would she be at? She was so bougie. What would her butt be doing?
I think she'd be married to somebody that was well off.
Really?
Not that that's what she truly cared about, because it wasn't. But I think she would be married to someone who was well off.
Mm-hmm.
Very independent, probably have her own business of some sort.
What about Penny? Do you worry about her?
What a sweet little girl. But would I worry about her?
I mean, like, what became of her? You know what I mean?
She'd have major issues. No, really. All that childhood stuff would resurface eventually. All that burning and all that abuse would resurface in her life at some point. She'd have major issues to deal with. So I think that's what she'd be feeling right about now.
I mean, could you see her, like, in an abusive relationship because of the abuse?
Quite possibly unknowingly. That's why.
Okay.
She was, like we were talking about earlier. Is it sometimes you think that's truly a person's way of showing that they love you?
Mm-hmm.
Quite possibly. But I think that she would definitely be dealing with those issues right about now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what she would do.
Could you even see, I mean, do you think she could even become like an abuser? You know?
No, I don't think she would.
Really? So you do think about this kind of stuff?
No, I don't.
You just said you did.
No,
You just said, oh, sometimes I do think about my characters, and now you're saying, oh, I never
No,
did.
I never said I do think about the characters. When you said, do I think about what they would be doing, I said that's a good question.
Oh, okay, I thought you said, oh, I do think about this.
No, because I never have. I think it's a really good question.
Oh, okay. I guess that's why I have the job. What do you think
You're so kidding. I love it though.
What do you think the first question is going to be like? As soon as I come back in the office, and I'm like, yeah, I saw Janet, whatever. What do you think people are going to ask me about you?
I have no clue.
Because I know the first thing everybody's going to ask.
Really? What?
I mean, you have no idea.
I have no clue.
Like the first thing they're going to say, like I say, okay, I just you know, talked to Janet yesterday, and they're going to say, oh,
I have no clue. I really don't. Should I?
I just know what it's going to be.
What, does she have any more piercings? I don't know.
No, do you?
No, not any new ones.
Do you still have your old piercings?
A couple I had to get rid of.
Because I just was wondering, because I used to be pierced and I had to get rid of them too.
Really?
Yeah. It's just over time they just didn't heal right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, for me, like some of them you could see on camera, like
Okay.
doing the film and things like that. Like my septum, you could see it. So, you know, during the movie I took it out.
What about this one?
Yeah.
So then what?
I still have my nipple piercing.
Okay. Okay. I'll leave it off. They're gonna ask me if you're fat.
Okay.
Can you-
That's a good question.
You think that's a good question?
Well, yeah, that would be because my weight has fluctuated.
But that doesn't piss you off? And that is gonna be the first question everybody asks. Matter of fact, some people asked me before I left.
Would that piss me off? No, because it's reality. I mean, why should it make me mad? Because my weight has fluctuated, and
Who's having?
I'm human.
But I mean, you know, it's like, I mean, how do you deal with people like being so obsessed with how you look? You know what I mean?
I think it has more to say about them than myself, really. If they're obsessing about me and what I look like as opposed to them. Don't you think, kind of, sort of?
Mm-hmm. But I still think that, like, I think that would just piss me off. You know, I think that,
That's all there is to me?
or just thinking that people think about that, or like, you know, all I've given these people is like, you know, I've made their asses dance, they've watched me on TV, it's like I've given them all of this of me.
And this
here,
is the
all they
first
can-
question?
Yeah.
You know what it is? I don't know if it has to do with growing up in this business, and there's all, people like mess.
Mhm.
That's what, you know, if you're a good girl, they don't want to hear about that. They want to have nothing to do with you. But if there's a little bit of mess that's surrounding you, that's what they want to hear. That they want to hear the gossip. So that would be a little bit of mess to me.
Mhm.
What size am I? Does it bother me? No. I mean, everyone.
It never bothers you?
You know what I have gotten bothered with seeing certain shots of me where I wasn't as heavy as they make me out to be.
Okay.
And then there are times when you're not happy with your weight, but you don't look like that.
Right.
They'll take the worst shot of you.
Right.
So that makes it, or there have been times when I've seen a little bit more, so added on.
Mhm.
So those things bother. I don't think those things aren't fair. But I have gone up and down.
Mhm.
And people do, and I'm human.
So when are you most comfortable with you? When do you think you're sexy in terms of your weight?
In terms of my weight,
Yeah.
it's really more so than anything how I feel about myself, how I feel inside, than it does with my weight.
Mhm.
Because to me, it's not about the size. It's if a person's sexy, they're sexy.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm sexy. Let's just start there. And that's no bullshit. I swear to God, Craig, God is my witness. I do not think I'm sexy.
Kim, I don't believe
No,
that
I'm
for
also
a
not-
second.
No, I
I'm
swear
gonna
to
stop the tape.
I swear to you, I do not think that I am sexy, but it's all about now.
But you think you can be sexy? Because if you didn't think you could be sexy, then I don't think that you could have the career that you have. Like, I don't think that you could get out there and, you know, do the things you do and wear the things you wear and stuff like that, knowing that you're seducing the audience. And knowing that they're going to perceive it as sexy, whether or not you feel that way or not. It's like, as an artist and as a person in control of your image, you must know that you can do certain things to make people think that you're sexy.
Do certain things to make people do certain things to make people think that I am sexy?
Or you're going to say that, okay, if you look, let me think of a video. Okay, like if you look at the That's the Way Love Goes video or something like that, you're going to say that you don't, if that wasn't you, you wouldn't think the girl in that video was sexy.
Nope.
Oh my
I
God.
swear to God, Craig, I lied to you not.
Janet, you would not think that the woman in that video was sexy.
God, no. Oh my God.
Okay, but what about the woman in the, what do you think? What do you know,
I mean, even if you take Anytime, Any Place.
You don't think that that person is sexy if you were not that
Anytime,
person?
Any Place?
Yeah.
No.
Grinding all up on the kitchen appliances and stuff.
I think that's a very sexy act.
But you don't
And-
think that person is sexy?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because I don't think she's
Why?
she's not sexy to me.
Why?
She just doesn't have it. Honestly.
What doesn't she have? Because you could break it down. When I asked you which Backstreet Boys, you were like, okay, well, I like AJ because A, B, C, and D. So it's like, if you're saying that that person is not sexy, then why?
There's a certain way that they move. There's a certain look in the eye. There's a certain something, and I don't think I have it. I swear to you, Craig, I am not lying to you. I am not lying to you. I do not think I'm sexy. And the funny thing about it is last night we were watching a rough cut of the new video, and Jimmy, myself, Sean, Marty, we were all watching it, and certain shots they were pointing out as being sexy, and I'm thinking, that's a sexy shot, and I've wound up saying, that's a sexy shot. It's like, I want to take that shot out, and I said, ugh, I hate that, and they said, you got to leave it in, that's sexy. I was like, you guys, that's sexy? And they said, yeah, that's sexy, you got to leave that in. I don't see it. I truly, oh God, Craig.
Okay, but you like sex too much not to feel sexy. You can't enjoy sex unless you feel sexy to that other person and feel sexy to yourself.
I think you can feel sexy, but I don't think that I am sexy.
But you do feel, you would at least say that you do feel
There are times
sexy.
when I do feel sexy, when I'm being intimate.
And I would think that
At
you...
certain times, yeah.
Okay, this...
I do feel that way. Or just like someone can make me feel sexy.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think I've
But-
caught you here. Now answer this, Okay, there's that interlude on Velvet Rope, where the masturbation interlude. Now, in order to masturbate, you have got to have, if you're like touching yourself and pleasuring yourself, you've got to have a feeling that you're sexy. Or else it just wouldn't work, you know?
You can't just feel horny and just want to get your legs wet.
Right, but aren't you thinking about you? Like, why would you be, aren't you thinking, you know, I'm hot, you know?
No. No.
Really?
No. Honestly. I've never saw myself. I've never seen myself as there are people that I do think are very sexy.
Who's sexy to you, then? Because I would love to know.
I think Denzel is sexy. I think, what's his name? Oh,
Women.
Okay, women.
And nobody from way back in the past either.
I think I have a lot of friends that are sexy. Female friends that are sexy.
Well, what makes a woman sexy?
It could be. To me, it's really on the inside, and that exudes as opposed to them trying to act sexy, as opposed to having this flirtatiousness about them. But then it just might be as simple as a smile, or just the look in their eyes, or just the way that they walk, the way that they move, the way they carry themselves, how confident they are. Those things can be very sexy to me, looking at someone else.
Do you think you're a confident person?
I don't think I have enough confidence.
Really?
It's
And
better
why?
than what it was, a lot better. But I still don't have it. I'm lacking in that department for sure. I'm a lot better than what I was though.
Can you understand how, like, for the average person at home or something, that it's impossible for them to reconcile somebody that's done as much as you've done and not have confidence? You know what I mean? Like, I think I understand, but can you understand how a lot of people would not understand that
Say
at
it's
all?
a bunch of bullshit.
Or not even if they're saying it's a bunch of bullshit, but just not understanding it. Just as simple as that, they just don't understand it.
Because I've accomplished the things that I have.
Yeah. And because you do
Yeah.
the things that you do. Like, most people can't understand the concept of walking out on stage in front of however many gazillions of people and then all at the same time saying that you're not confident. Like, that just won't make sense to most people.
You know, I can understand that it would make sense to them. It's much easier for me to walk in front of a crowd of people and perform than it is for me to walk in front of people and a few people and have to perform or give a speech. You talk about anxiety. My anxiety level is through the roof. That drives me nuts.
What?
Nothing. I'm just
I
like,
need to go to the
it's just
restroom. Can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
Want to get? It's like people always ask. I don't know. I mean, I guess certainly I'm asking
When
you
you look
questions,
like
so you have
him.
every right to ask them. But like, it's just interesting questions people ask. Like, because I interviewed Mariah, and the first thing she asked me was what race I was, like whether or not I was black or white.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. Anyway. But obviously that's like her issue. That's like.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
saying
yeah.
like age is your issue. I'm just saying like
Right.
it's just kind of interesting.
Sometimes you can read between the lines.
Yeah.
In that way. Yeah.
Okay, Janet.
Yeah.
What?
No.
You know, this is what this is like your vibe. Your vibe interviews are like, I mean, everybody just loves the Janet vibe interviews.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like you're talking to black people, and it's like it's people feel like that's their Janet. Like if they read about Janet and vibe, that's like, you know what I mean? That's their way of connecting with it.
I think it's the feeling of because I've been in this business for so long.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm part of the family. They know me.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm their sister that lives right at home with them in some way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that there's some sort of a connection
Mhm.
in that way
Mhm.
because I've been around for so long,
Right.
and a lot of people have seen me grow up,
Mhm.
and people have grown up with me.
Yeah, great. I mean, yeah, it's just weird, but I do think like, it's different to talk about you with black people and talk about you with white people. It's like, you're right, like black people do feel like you are there. It's like you're a part of their family. It's like, white people love you, but it's like, it's just a different situation, I don't know. That's the way I find, that it's just different.
Maybe because I am a sister. I mean,
Yeah,
truly,
right, yeah.
regardless of where I grew up. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't even know if I'm making any sense. But maybe, no, really though. But maybe that's why are you laughing at me, Craig?
You're laughing. I'm
No,
not laughing
you're-
at you.
Well, why
Jenny, you were laughing. I was not laughing. I had a straight face.
No,
and
you
you were
didn't.
laughing. And I was like, well, shit, if she's laughing, then I'll laugh too.
But maybe that's what it is, though.
Right.
You know?
Well, it's just like, I mean, because, a lot of, like, mainstream kind of got into with Control, but it's like, everybody I know can still sing Young Love or something like that, right? Do you still know the lyrics to that song?
I can't tell real love from a thing. I'm gonna let you be. Heartbreak, baby. Your love, ring around the roses. Searching for a heart so true. Yeah, I guess I do.
Wow.
Yeah, that was I was 15 when I recorded that.
Wow.
I ran into Angela
Oh, no way.
here. She was with her husband, Ronald
Mhm.
Isley.
And of course, when you first met her, you didn't have to call her Angela, right?
What do you mean?
Because back then she was just Angela Winbush.
No, I called her,
Angela even then?
yeah, I believe I
Uh-huh.
called her Angela then.
I don't know, Janet, because she's changed her name. Like when she went solo, that's when she changed the punctuation of her name.
Really? I could have sworn I called her Angela then. Maybe I didn't.
I was listening to that song like this morning, and there's this line in it, I traded all my childhood treasures for burning love so true. Yeah. And I was just wondering, is that, kind of in retrospect, is that kind of pathetic at all, or do you feel like that's something that you did, like in early relationships that you had to do, like that you substitute the things that really give you comfort as a child for sort of a love?
Things that gave me such comfort as a child for love.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm understanding it correctly, Craig. Well, there's a part of me that feels I definitely grew up a lot quicker being in this business, point blank, and I think that also has a lot to do with, like, all the being in love a lot at such a younger age and moving out and wanting to do your own thing and the whole bit. It moved pretty quickly for me. I think a part of me did trade a lot of that. And I remember my mother saying to me, don't be so eager to grow up. Because you have the rest of your life to be an adult. And I couldn't understand that then. I heard what she said, and obviously it never left.
Mm-hmm.
But now I get it. And I did. I mean, I didn't listen to her. I did. But at the same time, in a sense, you were forced to. Because of being in this business, you had no time to be a child and trading it. Trading all your childhood treasures for this career. for your work and wanting to be in love and have someone to call your own and do all those things. Things that sometimes, at least I did, I thought, well, it's the thing to do. Like you're supposed to grow up and get married and have a family and do this and that. And then realizing, wait a minute, I don't have to do this. Just because this is the norm doesn't mean it has to be done this way.
Right.
If you want to go to school, go to school. If you want to take your time with someone, take it. You don't have to have a child. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. And that's when I think things kind of change for me in a sense.
When did you come to that realization?
Well, part of it was, a portion of that was control.
Okay.
And then I guess in a sense, getting back to it was later on in my life and saying, wait a minute, just because this is where I am doesn't mean this is where I have to be. And I can change things if I want. If I'm not happy with a situation, only I can change it.
Yeah. Is that something that like comes, you know, is that like a quick revelation, like it's just kind of like something that you come to, or is it like a slow sort of painful process? You know what I mean?
That realization?
Yeah, that you can change, you can make a change in your life.
I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I feel like it's both in a sense.
Okay.
Because of all that you go through and all that you learn in life. And then suddenly, boom, it just one day hit me that, no, it doesn't have to be this way. It's like, yeah, you may have been told that, but I didn't quite get it. Or I heard it, but I wasn't truly getting it. And eventually, it just hit me. It came into my head and it hit me and said, you know what, change it.
Yeah.
You can change it, change it. If you're not happy, change it. Do something about it. Don't sit in it. Don't live with it.
But like, what were the voices kind of in your head telling you not to, or that you couldn't? You know what I mean?
Not that I couldn't, but it's like growing up, things that you see, things that you learn from your parents. At least I should say for myself. I feel, okay, this is the way things are supposed to be done. It's like saying no matter how much mess somebody dishes out, you stay behind that person. No matter what they do to you, how badly they may treat you, you still be there for that person. And that's one of the things that I feel like I was shown growing up. So I thought, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be. Whether you're happy or not, you still stick with that person. And I'm just giving you an example. And then saying, wait a minute, just because that's what they did with their life doesn't mean that I have to do the same thing. And that also doesn't make it right.
Right.
So it's at some point it's like saying, okay, wait a minute, this isn't cool. I'm not feeling this, so I'm gonna change it.
So it kind of goes back to like what we were talking about in the car, and that, I mean, to love somebody, to be in love, you know that you're going to have to put up with some degree of mess, because we all come with mess. You can't love another person without mess. But just when do you know when that mess is just too much, you know, that their mess is holding you down, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, they ultimately say in learning that everyone does have their baggage, but you take care of yours, I'll take care of mine. It's the way it's truly supposed to be. That would be the healthy way.
Right.
And we don't bring any outside baggage, past relationships into this, because we have to give this a fair chance.
Right.
But if it starts to, for myself, feel like a ton of bricks on my shoulders, where I am day in and day out totally consumed with them and what's going on in their lives, and just totally ignoring myself.
Right.
Something's not right here. And like I said to you before, it is selfish, and it seems so selfish, and it was so difficult for me to do in the beginning, and that's to say, wait, I gotta take care of myself first. Does that seem so selfish to me?
Wow.
It's like, how can you take care of yourself when there's somebody over here who really needs you? was like, well, you really can't help them unless you've got your shit together. And I couldn't understand that because they needed me and I wanted to be there for them. But now I get it.
Yeah. But you thought that was selfish, like that, like as opposed to like that's looking out for yourself is always selfish.
Yeah, I saw it as being a very selfish person, but see, that's how I grew up. That's what I saw growing up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, now that, you know, because obviously you're like talking about your parents and kind of what you saw growing up and stuff like that, and you know, you've been through stuff yourself. It's like, you know, what are your, do you talk to maybe like your mom about relationships now and like what, you know what I mean, like what you've gone through and things?
You know what, not that it's weird, but I'm so much closer to my mother than I've ever been.
Wow.
Ever been. Things that happened to me when I was a kid that I thought I would never tell her. That I told who I considered my second mom. She just passed away last year, Mrs. Fine. She was our tutor. Only one of my family she didn't teach was my brother Jack, and she taught all of us. Mm-hmm. And my sister Reedy was that one. I'm sorry, she didn't teach. She taught the rest of us. But, you know, any little thing, if I got in trouble, I'd tell Mrs. Fine because I didn't want to disappoint my mother. Mm-hmm. And I would hope mother wouldn't find out. Mm-hmm. And as an adult, I told her a lot of things that happened to me when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And some she sensed, you know, that mother's intuition.
Right. Yeah.
And there were things that she knew, but it just felt so good to talk. And when I did that, it opened a whole new door for our relationship as mother and daughter, and we are so much closer today. Wow. And I love that because I'm crazy about mother. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Do you think do you think you understand choices she may have made in her life that you might not have understood earlier? You know what I mean?
My mother's very, yes I do, and it's all about her children, it's all about her family. And not to, I think it's like that with most black families, not to say that it's not like that with other people's families, but I wish that she would be a little selfish, just a little bit. And we talk about this all the time, and just do something for herself. Just take care of herself. But it's always about her babies. Always about her babies.
Do you think she understands the choices that you've made in your life?
Yeah, I think she does. I think she does. She knows me. She knows that I'm a lot like her. But at the same time, I've come into my own and found someone else there that isn't like she. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But you think she likes that person?
Which one?
This one that you found inside, you know, the person that has
know.
just enabled you to do the things that you've done, that she, you know, to make choices in your life that she didn't necessarily make in her life.
I know she loves that person. She loves that person. She doesn't just love that person. And that's all that matters to me.
Great. Wonderful. I guess I can't ask this question. It's a sexy question.
Can I just hear it?
No, I was just going to say what part of your body turns you on the most, but I guess.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't ask that because I would have to honestly tell you no part of my body turns me on.
That's why I didn't ask. And I'm
Now,
not,
wait, if
I'm
you
not
want to
sure I
ask
believe
me,
you, honestly.
okay,
I'm
well
really
that's
not sure I
fine.
believe you. I'm not saying that it's. I'm not saying.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
You honestly don't have to, and I'm not mad about it at all. I'll tell you which part of my body I like the most.
Okay.
The small of my back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't you have a tattoo there?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's the part of my body I like the most.
Mm-hmm.
I don't It's such a, oh God, Craig, it's a really touchy thing with me because I don't see myself as sexy. Like I can take pictures like this, and I look at this picture, and I'm not saying, and I go, see, I don't even want to talk about it, Craig, because,
No, tell me. Go ahead.
you know why?
I'm not gonna laugh at you.
Because do you think that's a sexy picture?
Of course, Janet.
No. I know it's saying sex because you don't have anything on and there's a pillow.
No, but it's sexy. Look at your face. You look sexy. I'm gay, and I think it's sexy.
See, and you know what, Craig? That's not, I don't see that as sexy.
Hmm.
I truly don't. I really. Now, if it was somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
totally, completely somebody else, I probably would find it sexy. But because it's me, because I don't see myself as sexy, and I never have.
Well, I think it's very interesting you're saying the small of your back, because that's like, A, it's a part of yourself that you can't see. But then B, it's a very vulnerable part of yourself because, like, it's, you know, if somebody's doing something in that area, it's like you don't...
It feels good.
Well, yeah, but you also don't see this. It's very mysterious, you know, because you don't see necessarily what they're doing, and it's sort of, it's very vulnerable place, you know.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's like, you know, I mean, not too many people are going to be playing around in the small of my back. You know, it's like that's a special
Place for a special person.
Okay, let's lighten it up. I feel like we've been real heavy for a while. Let's talk about people. Can we talk about people?
Okay, like who?
Not talk about them like, oh, she is.
You want to gossip?
No, I don't gossip. I really don't. I really don't care about gossip. But let's talk about people. No.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite Jennifer Lopez song?
Yeah, I do.
God, you not say it so defensively.
No,
I
but
was asking it straightforward.
no, I didn't
Like,
mean it.
yeah, I do. What
No,
else?
I didn't mean it like that. I swear to God, I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, I actually
God.
do. I like on her new album, Secretly.
Okay.
I think it's called Secretly.
Mm.
It's either Secret or Secretly.
Okay.
I love that song.
Why?
I love the melody. I love the way she sings. And I like what it's saying.
Mm. Do you remember, like, the first time you met her? Like, was it on the set of That's the Way Love Goes? Or?
They all auditioned.
And what were your impressions of her?
She was a sweet girl. She was really quiet.
Really?
Yeah, and I can't say what was going through her head, but there was a part of me that I remember. God, who called? I don't know if she spoke to Renee or if she spoke to someone else, but said that because she was supposed to do the tour, she was supposed to do the whole project,
Oh, okay.
everything, and we only got through the first video, and then she kind of was saying that she wanted out because she wanted to do her own thing and do films and wanted to act, and I wished her well and said, of course. It's like, how would I feel holding someone back knowing that they want to do something else and are ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be pretty shady,
Mm-hmm.
I think, on my part. And maybe that's what was going through her head because she was so quiet.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like saying, you know what? Sometimes that happens because I know it happened with me. Thinking I was very quiet, but I was just quiet, period,
Right.
growing up. But thinking I don't want to be here.
Mm.
This is not that I hate it, but I just want to be doing something else. This is not where I want to be at the moment. I'm ready to take that next step in another direction, which happened with me on Fame.
Well, she probably wanted to be where you were. She wanted it to be her video.
Well, she's doing it,
Mhm.
you know, and
Mhm.
she's doing it very well. And
Mhm.
she's having great success, and I think that's awesome. I really do.
Do you own a copy of Paula Abdul's Greatest Hits?
Do I own a copy?
Yeah, do you have a copy?
No, I don't. I don't, Craig. I'm sorry. I have to say I don't.
Why are you apologizing to me?
Because I'm so happy. I shouldn't even be saying this. I'm so happy I asked, like, kind of repeated, or you repeated the question, because I thought you asked me another question.
What did you think of him?
I thought you said, do I own, right?
Yeah.
I thought you said, oh God, now I can't even think of what you said. I thought you said something like, would you want?
Oh, okay.
And then I was thinking, yeah, I thought you said, would you want? And I was thinking, well, I didn't know there was
Oh, one out.
Yeah. So I feel badly. And see, so I'm, even though I'm still saying it.
Well, it's on your label. I'm sure you can get a copy.
Craig, you are a mess. Oh my God, you are such a mess.
What?
You're a mess.
I think you're projecting. I'm just asking very more questions. God. You're not going to hit me, are you? What are you
No. Would you like some?
No, thanks. Unless you're trying to say my breath is bad or something.
No.
So what do you think, like, when you see, like, Britney perform? What do you think? What goes through your mind?
What goes through my mind?
Those are your old dance moves?
But people say that.
Mm-hmm. Say that, they say what?
Well, my friends have said to me that she reminds them of me.
Mm-hmm.
And she does remind me of me now. I never saw it before.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, Jen, I think you inspired her. And I'm thinking, I did?
Mm-hmm.
And then I hear, like, in her music where she goes, stop, and to sing, and band, and this and that, and the chair thing, and then, because I never saw it before, I really,
Right.
I didn't. I just saw her as, you know, one of the new kids coming up and having a great amount of success, and I think she's talented.
Right.
And I enjoy watching her. I saw her show in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. We met a couple of times, actually, and a couple of times she's called wanting to, or one of her security guys has called wanting us to get together, but unfortunately just schedule
Right.
conflicts. But yeah, I think she's talented.
Do you think, like, a young black woman could ever have that much success out of the box, you know? Like the way that she's come out kind of doing very similar things to what you've done, but she's like, you know, like 10 million of her first album, like...
It's always
when-
been, it seems like it's always been harder for us as a people. Even before the struggle for us as a people. But it's not impossible. I don't think it's impossible. But maybe you have to make themselves a little bit more visible. Not that she's not everywhere already.
Mhm.
You know what I'm kind of saying? You say for her to do 10 million out the box, would it be, do you think another young black artist would come along and do the same thing?
I mean, in a lot of ways, it just seems kind of like, you know, and not taking anything away from her. I mean, maybe she's talented, maybe she's not. But, you know, it's just an example of, like, a white artist doing very similar things that a black artist has done, and in a way, getting more success. You know what I mean?
Right. I hear what you're saying. You know, I used to hear things like, and I don't know, because I really wasn't around, like with Jackie Wilson and Elvis Presley.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, they're that same thing on different levels. I mean, throughout the years of music.
Right.
You have, Benny Goodman, but before that you had, who was it? That had that same style, but it didn't take off.
Right.
Until, I think it was Benny Goodman,
Mm-hmm.
playing out of that. And the kids fell in love with it, and all of a sudden it became a sound.
Right.
When we were playing jazz like that,
Mm-hmm.
way before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say to be afraid.
Andre, why do you think? Why can't we just be quiet? You seem like you're expecting me to say, like, if I'm just not saying, if I jump it right back with a question, you think I'm thinking something. I'm just like, just letting you talk. Okay. Well, doesn't Tina Landon choreograph for Britney?
No,
does
she did.
Christina?
She did. Oops.
Okay, I did, yeah.
Yeah, she did that video. I think that's the only time she worked with Britney, but she works with Christina a lot.
Mm-hmm. Are you also friends?
I actually haven't seen Tina in a while, or actually worked with her. I always switch, like
Right.
choreographers and dancers, and now I'm working with Marty and Sean,
Right.
and with a few other choreographers.
Mhm.
I'm problematic.
So how do you decide, like, you know, it's time for, like, we're talking about decisions a lot, like these things where you,
Time to move on.
well, we talk about, like, because you're a relationship person, you said that,
Mhm.
and so it's like, but the hardest part of being a relationship person is ending a relationship.
Mhm.
And so, like, when you come to that point professionally, you work with somebody and you're, like, deciding, you know, whether it's, like, you don't want to work with somebody anymore, or maybe you want to bring new people into it, like, in this situation, it's like, you know, how do you come to that decision, and then how do you tell the other person?
Well, I've never had to be one to tell them.
Oh, Janet! Oh, my God! That is awful.
No. You know, honestly,
Mhm.
it's really weird. I mean, it's always happened as to where they've known that I am a relationship person, and to be asked back is such a shock from what they've told me,
Mhm.
because they thought this was going to be it,
Mhm.
with them being in the camp.
Mhm. I'm hearing I'm just writing down something.
Okay. Because they know I always switch it up.
Right.
So for me to ask them back and then thinking, okay, well, this is the final go round, I know for sure.
Mhm.
And then there have been times when other people have actually told them that, all depending upon who it is, and there have been times when I've actually had to say that I decided to use someone else
How do you
for this problem. It's not easy.
So how would you do it? Like, what would you
Oh, please don't sit here and ask me that, Craig.
Why?
Because there's still one more that I have to go, and
Ah.
and this one's really tough for me to do. And this one's probably the hardest.
And why don't you want to work with a person anymore?
It's not because they're not talented. It's not because I don't care about them. It has to do with Craig.
You were talking in generalities, yeah.
Because you know why I can't? Because it's truly giving it away. But if this person reads that article and I haven't spoken to them yet, they're gonna say, you know what? She's talking about me. I just lost my job.
But
See,
and
and that's
but see, most people aren't in that position. So that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, just giving people a glimpse of you. It's like most people don't have to do that for better or for worse. Most people aren't so in control of their destinies that they really can decide who is going to be a part of their life and who's not. You know, like, I have to go to work, you know, tomorrow regardless, and I can't say, oh, you know, I'm tired of you as my boss. You know? We had throw, you know, it was cute, but, you know, just...
I'm very fortunate in that way. I truly am.
So how do you do, like, so psychologically, I just think, you know, that's one of the things that you have that most people don't. So just, like, give us a glimpse of, like, how you do that. Like, how
You know what? I just
try
try to be as diplomatic as possible, and just try to be as. It's never easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's never easy, but to try to, and it's always going to hurt.
Right.
It not just them, but also me. And I know that it might be somewhat painful for them, or just painful period for them. Not to say that I'm the only person in the world
Right.
to work with, and that's it. Their lives are shattered, their careers are shattered because they're not working with me. I mean, there are several other people
Mm-hmm.
to work with, and for them to move on and do bigger and better things. But just to try and be as diplomatic as possible and try to help them to understand, and for them not to know that it has nothing to do with their talent,
Right.
but that is just the point where I am in my life,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, and where I need to move on and do something different. And that doesn't truly include really their contributions in a sense. I hate to make, I hate to, and I'm trying to tell you without telling you, because I still have one more to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be tough, because we've been together for a long time.
So you said that Shawnette is like, she's correct, like she, I know, did a lot of Doesn't Really Matter, something she's worked with you.
She choreographed that with Marty Kudelka.
Okay.
They've been working together. She never really wanted to be a choreographer, and she did a piece for Donnell, she and Marty. And I saw a tape and I really liked it, and I asked her if she would choreograph, part of the tour and the videos and stuff. And I knew that she didn't want to be a choreographer. But I don't know if it's because of us being friends she said yes. But she said yes.
Right.
So we've been working together. And also she's co-directing the tour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's really where her heart is, in doing concepts and things like that. And she ultimately wants to be a director.
Wow.
She was actually going to school for that. So she kind of put that on hold to do this,
Right.
which I'm appreciative. Very thankful.
What about, like, what do you think when you hear all the rumors about you two and all that kind of stuff?
You know what, Craig? I've heard rumors from day one. I heard rumors about myself and Josie, about myself and Tish, about myself, Tina, Sean to get the three of us. And I think, I just let it go in one ear and out the other. I think that because we are so close, because I make it like a family, that's what I like for it to be like on tour. We are we're very close. We're very, how do I put this? I mean, there are times when, on a day off, the kids have knocked on my door. We all get in the same bed and we watch a movie. It could be myself, Gil, Sean, Tina, and we'll watch a film. That's just us. But if a waiter walks in and sees that, it's like, okay,
Right.
you know what I mean? There's something else going on here. Or if someone falls asleep in your lap and you're stroking their forehead, stroking their head.
Now, I did not even think about that. So that is you and your dirty mind and whatever. So anyway, so you're stroking their hair.
So we're very close.
But you can understand why people think that, right? Like, you can understand, like, I guess after hearing some of the lyrics on Velvet Rope and things like that, and then...
Of course I can understand, and I'm not homophobic. I mean, of course I can. And I go to gay clubs, I go to clubs where the music's good.
Right.
And there are always going to be rumors.
But I mean, also, part of it, I think, too, even like not from a negative point of view, is like, you talk about how much you enjoy sex and just the feeling associated with sex and everything like that. And it's not that far of a leap to think that somebody that was that open-minded about sexuality would be into experimenting with, whether or not it was bisexuality or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally understand.
So you can, so it's like...
I can totally understand.
Right.
But I think that, the people are always going to say what they want to say. And if they think something's going on, they think something's going on. I can't control that. I really can't.
Well, if you were bisexual or whatever, would you say so? Like, would you? Or you don't think it's anybody's business, or?
Would I say so? What would be, why should somebody hide it?
First, that's why I said, if you, Janet Jackson, would you? Meaning, would that be something that you felt? Because obviously, you make choices in your life every day. You're making choices right now about which part of me is to share and which part of me I'm not going to share. So it's like, if you were bisexual, would you feel like that was something that people
you had to share?
Yeah.
Right, I totally understand what you're saying. Just like there have been things I talked about on Velvet Rope, but yet I didn't tell everything, because there's still things left that are very private.
Right.
I don't know, I'd have to see where I was in my life at that point, honestly, and how I felt.
Why are you staring me down?
What do you want me to answer your question? And just look, okay, next time I answer your question, I'm going to look straight down.
But have you ever, thought another one was attractive, or thought that you might go there, that you might kiss
Thought another woman was attractive? Of course. Have you ever... Well...
Yes, I thought many men were attractive. Even think some women were attractive.
You see, that's not odd for a woman to think another woman is
That's
attractive.
true. That's true.
And just to want to stare at her because you find her just flawless.
Right.
That's
it's
not...
also a heterosexual guy fantasy, too. Think about that.
Yeah, 30-something.
Right. Okay, I'm just going to put it straight out there. I found it hard to believe that somebody that's as open-minded about sexuality as you are and everything, that you've never either considered it or maybe even experimented with another woman. You know, not saying that you have to stay, but I'm just saying I just find
Right.
it like hard to believe that that wouldn't be, you know, knowing that you kind of like, you know, you're interested in sexuality, obviously. You're
Right.
interested in
Right.
finding out about S&M. Whether you go all the way with it is one thing, but you're interested in finding out about it. So it just seems to me
Your
like,
curiosities.
yeah, I feel like, yeah,
Right,
it would
right.
make sense to me
I
that I could see
totally-
the chance, you know.
I totally understand. When I will tell you this, when I was younger, when I was I was pretty young. I found an attraction to this girl that worked at this place. But for the most part, I really in my heart feel that, and I think I shouldn't say we all, I think it's part of growing up when you're younger.
Like, how old were you? Like, around?
I was a teenager.
Okay.
And I think it happens not necessarily with all teenagers, but at some point in people's lives, and not necessarily with everyone. But thoughts like that kind of enter your head. And I think it had a great deal to do with the space that I was in at the moment. The relationship that I was in, I really wasn't happy with. And I found myself finding her very attractive.
Did you ever tell her or anything?
No.
Did she know? It was just a kind of a flirt, infatuation kind of thing.
Basically, yeah. And I think that, I mean, I don't know if guys do that, but just like certain things you experience as a kid, you know, little bad things you do as a kid. Craig, don't sit here and make me have to say.
What? I don't know what you're
No.
talking
Okay,
about.
but you know what I'm saying. Just
No,
as
really
kids,
not.
you
I have no idea what you are completely
just children's
lost.
curiosities, little things you do as kids.
Oh, like playing doctor and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah, just any little thing like
Okay,
that.
okay.
Just I can't say for sure, but I think as women, not everyone.
hello, I'm talking with Janet Jackson. She's mad at me and doesn't like me. So, I mean, but what I'm saying is that I think, this is my theory, this is my Janet Jackson theory. I think that if people weren't so hung up on sexuality, and like, if you said, okay, like, I've kissed another woman or something like that, or even I've had sex with another woman, then if you saying that wasn't going to be such a big headline-making deal, that it wouldn't be a surprise to find out that that was something that you thought about.
It wouldn't be a big deal because, what makes it a big deal is, for one, the family that I come from.
Right.
And, you know, being so sheltered and the whole bit. I mean, that's all a part of it. And everyone perceiving you as someone who's, not saying that so necessarily now, but especially back when I was younger, as being very innocent and shy and sweet and all that stuff.
That was a bad thing.
No, those are all good things. Those are all good things. But yeah, I mean, that's what would make it a headline. And then if it was somebody else, they may not even care. Not to say, I'm not, oh God, see, I hate when I do this because I feel like I'm...
Just do it. Just say what you're going to say.
No, well, I'll just leave it on that note.
Okay.
Just, yeah, I think it has to do with those things. And there's always going to be somebody who says.
All right.
I mean, now it's that. It's my weight. It's my this. It's my that.
It's always your weight.
Yeah, right?
Your weight.
It's always that.
Or like, you know, like saying like, and then the thing is like, okay, if you are, go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, you took the breath. Go ahead.
No, you know why? Because just recently when I did AMAs, a friend said to me that someone had said, oh my God, she looks like she had surgery or something. And then another friend mentioned that to me. And I'm thinking, and then I thought, well, maybe everyone's used to seeing me heavy for a while or something. That, you know, when you lose weight, you look different. And of course you do.
Yeah.
But that's what, you know, I started thinking, okay, why is this suddenly, like, coming up? I'm like, oh no. I don't know.
But aren't you used to people like talking about, oh, she's, you know, had 300 nose jobs, she's had a breast job, she's had a foot job, she's had a
You know what?
ass job, whatever.
You know, you hear all kinds of things. And it's, like I said, people want something to talk about. They really do.
Do you think people have a right to know what plastic surgery you may or may not have had, you know?
Oh, it's your business. Unless you want to tell them.
Right.
I mean, that's the only right that they have. People have to understand that would they like everyone at the office knowing every single thing about them? And if they don't care, then that's them. But for the most part, I best believe the majority of those people, it's nobody else's business.
Right.
Unless they want to share, really.
Right.
But their private lives, what they do at home, some of the things.
Okay, we talked about the Backstreet Boys. Now, NSYNC are like big fans of yours. They're going to do the Icons thing.
Yeah.
And then they also toured a little bit on Velvet Rope, I believe.
When they open.
So which one is NSYNC or Cheetahs?
Don't do that to me, Joey.
I
mean, I meant to say Craig. No, wait,
You
no.
think Joey's the cutest?
No. Wait, let me. Okay, let me go back.
Funny.
See, this is what I meant to say. Craig. No, let me tell you why.
All right,
Craig,
go
wait.
ahead.
I have to tell you why Joey's a really good friend of mine. And this is what I was thinking. I was thinking, God. I can't say that. Joey's a really good friend of mine.
Well, let's
No,
see, I won't ask
it
you.
would make you feel badly. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, well, I won't even ask. Okay, tell me off the record.
Okay.
All right, JC's a close second. Why don't you return Puffy's calls?
Who said that I don't return Puffy's
I
calls?
read somewhere that where he said that he keeps calling you and you don't return his calls about producing, and that you said that you don't return his calls or whatever.
Ooh, that's more gossip. No.
So you do return his calls, or
He's invited me to his place in the Hamptons a couple of times.
have you ever gone? Why? You must have a whole white outfit or something.
Well, I think that's cool.
What?
Because,
What?
why? I mean, he's invited me there for the weekend. See, you're asking these
And
questions.
you just weren't interested in working together in that way.
Working together in that way.
You weren't so interested in such an intimate working relationship, essentially.
Okay, let's you put it that way, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but see, it's so funny because I've seen articles where he says he's on the phone with me, and we spoke over the net
Oh, the internet.
once. Yeah, just quickly, because he was with a friend of mine,
Okay.
and we were talking about questions.
Alright.
But like he'll say hi and come up and when we're at the same functions and things like that, or when I'm rehearsing for something. But he's never called me, and I've never not returned a call or anything like that. He's never called me.
Okay.
From what I know, I would never do that.
Didn't you used to have a dog named Puppy?
My baby passed away October 5th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She was 19.
Oh, wow.
She was with me since I was 18 years old.
Oh my God. That must have been really difficult.
It was really hard. Really hard. She was on all the tours with me, even though and I had to send her home because it was like, okay, she's not holding her bladder. She was like, she would use the bathroom in the service elevator.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't wait till she get outside, but it was so cute because I would never see her before a show.
Right.
She'd be running around the whole venue, even outside, and all the fans knew who she was.
Wow.
Because she was in two of the videos, with the prologue to Control, and in the Because I Love Him.
Wow.
And all the kids knew who she was, and she had lots of love. Yeah, she unfortunately passed away when I was 2 years old.
That must have, I mean, because that was such a hard time for you just anyway, and then that on top of it.
Yeah. It was pretty tough. I still cry from time to time because she brought a lot of joy into my life, and I rescued her from abuse from whatever owner she had.
Right.
But I still have my picture of the two of us at the beach.
Wow.
I think I was about 23, and I think about my baby all the time.
Wow, because I mean, I can imagine the stuff that, like, just been with you for so long time and everything, you know, whether or not it's a person that's dead or whatever, now that you're at the stage must be really important, like stuff that was there at the beginning, you know?
Mm-hmm. It was very important.
Are they doing something?
Yeah, they're in the studio next door.
How hip hop influenced you over the years? I mean, first you were all like Shelf, whatever, and then now you're all up in Busta Rhymes' videos and everything.
I've loved those guys. I'm telling you, I love music, and I'm thankful that I was exposed to different types of music growing up, so that when new things come along, when my friends say, "Listen to this CD," it's like, "There's this big record corporation, pop it in." It's like I see the beauty in it, and I can truly appreciate it. Not saying that everything I listen to I like, but I love it. I just love it. I think Bus is talented. He's such a good guy. I loved him.
I hadn't even gotten to that question yet, but now that you mention it, what do you like about Q-Tip?
He's just a great guy.
How? That's so general. What about him?
He's
What has he done? Name one thing he's done for you that somebody would say, wow, that was really great.
I don't know if anyone would say, wow, it's really a great thing, but for me, it's a great thing. It means a lot to me. And those are friendships. And he is real with me. Not to say that he's not that way with other people, but I love the conversations that we hold. Every time we speak, there's something for me to learn. And I love being with him. I love hanging out with him. I love listening to him speak. I love the music that he creates and shares with me. Sometimes he'll just leave music on my phone, and I absolutely love it. He's just incredibly talented. Always giving me such words of encouragement, and leaving me with something very provoking to think about. It doesn't hurt that he's cute.
Is he the type of guy that you'd like to be with? What?
You've got me stuttering. Is he the type of guy?
You already said yes. You said yeah. You nodded your head.
Yeah.
Have you all ever been romantically involved, or have you ever gotten romantic?
You sure are getting deep, aren't you? Let's just say we're very close friends.
You nodded your head, yes. You nodded your head. Yes. Why would you not? I mean, okay, like, you've already said, you know, obviously with the marriage and everything, like, you don't want your relationships and stuff to be that public, and that's understandable. But, I mean, you know, is it the sort of thing, like, I mean, I guess it's just, you know, because it's just something you just want to be special with you, right? Like, you just don't want, why should everybody know?
People getting in my stuff.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I am a private person. Believe that or not.
I do believe it. Why else would you, like,
you
not
know
tell
why?
people about marriage and stuff like that?
Well,
if you
that's
were
true.
a private person.
Well, because, and I think a lot of people don't believe that only because of the subject. I mean, with every album I write about what's going on in my life.
Right.
So I do tell a lot, but I don't tell everything. Like
Right.
we're talking about the other. So that's why I say, believe it or not, I am a private person.
Mm-hmm.
But Tip and I are very good friends.
You're more than friends.
You are?
You just told me.
No, I didn't tell you that, Craig. I said Tip and I are good friends.
Next question. Do you remember when you first met him? Was it on the Justice set?
It sure was. Yeah. That was the first time we met.
What were your impressions like when you first saw him?
I have to ask him about this because we had that scene. I shouldn't be saying. I should be asking him this first, but I'm gonna say it. And Tip kissed me, and I wouldn't kiss him back. I was kissing him, but I wouldn't kiss him.
Right.
He was tonguing me. That's
Right.
what he was doing.
Right.
And I was thinking, oh God, he probably thinks I'm the worst kisser there ever was. But I was embarrassed because Renee was standing right then. I was thinking, oh, God. And it's like, look, you're supposed to be blocking all these people out. Why aren't you just blocking
Right.
folks out and kiss this man?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it.
Do you think it's because you really wanted to? Like it was harder because you actually wanted to kiss him?
I'm gonna kill you, Craig, for these questions.
It's what you're saying. Why don't you say? It's what your face is telling me. I can't help but
Really?
read your
No,
face.
you just can't read my face. That doesn't necessarily mean you're reading me correctly.
That is what you're saying. And then you're laughing tells them even more correct.
No, because you're making me laugh at
Okay,
these
I'm asking you
questions.
straight up. Is that because you really wanted to? And that in some ways it was even more uncomfortable? Like I know sometimes like it's easier sometimes just to like do something with somebody that you don't have feelings with because you know it doesn't mean anything. But somebody that you think, wow, there might be something here and I shouldn't be having these feelings and I'm married, it's my first film and blah, blah, blah. That's why you had a hard time.
No, I didn't have feelings for Tim.
Okay.
It truly was embarrassment. It really was. And you're supposed to be when it comes to acting and the whole thing, and you're supposed to be right there.
Right.
And afraid that he would think, not Tip, but Renee, that there was something more there. If I were to truly kiss him.
Was he very jealous or something? Was that like something you would be worried about?
Renee says he wasn't, but he was. He says he's not, or he used to say he wasn't a jealous person. But when I did Love Will Never Do, he couldn't be around myself and Antonio.
Oh,
He was
wow.
gone the whole time.
Wow.
But he was there. He was off with Puffy somewhere. We stayed out there in the desert when I shot that.
Mm-hmm.
But he'd once in a while come and say, how you doing? I said, I'm good. He goes, okay. Because I'm just going to leave you alone because I can't stand to see you with this guy. So I'm doing my thing.
Wow.
You just go ahead. And I appreciate him as opposed to giving me a lot of shit for it. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
saying, no, you can't, you didn't do this macho.
Or like being mean.
Yeah.
And not knowing that that's really what it was.
Right, and
Yeah.
it was just, it's part of my job. And there was nothing between Antonio and myself. I had no feelings, I should say, for Antonio when we did that video. But, no, I was just, knowing that, I was just, and he never made me feel like he would just fly off the handle and get upset or anything like that. But just the fear of thinking, okay, she's kissing him the way she kisses me. Is there something behind it?
Right. And you wouldn't want to hurt him, like, right or unintentionally. You know what I mean? I can see why you wouldn't want to.
Right, but see, I can't do that. I can't allow that to happen.
Right. But you know what would have bothered me if I was him in that situation, and I thought that there was any way that you liked Q-Tip? I would have known that there was no way that I could ever be that. You know what I mean? And that would have been the thing that would have bothered me the most.
That he would never be able to be Tip.
Yeah, that's
If
so
I-
outside of the realm of what he is. And that would have been the thing, I think.
Yeah.
And Q-Tip is, it's like he's very different from the other guys you're associated with, Janet. Like what, you liked him, but I don't know. It just seemed, you were talking about like your, the guy that you liked, the Jehovah's Witness, you said he kind of had like a baby face and stuff like that. I think some of the men you were with earlier kind of sort of had that quality. I don't know them personally, I'm just looking at pictures where, Tip is a lot of things. He's not like a baby face sort of man. He's like,
I don't have a type. My friends, a lot of people try to say that I do, but I truly don't. And if I did have a type, it definitely changed. I don't have a type. I really don't. It's just something about, I don't know, it's just something about the person that will catch my eye in some sort of way. And I guess that all depends upon where I am and what I'm doing at the moment. But I truly don't have a type.
Were you attracted to Pop on the set? Did you think he was hot?
I thought he was very cute. And what even tickled me more was that he had that whole tough image, and he was such a sweet guy, and loved to play around. His nickname for me was Square. Maybe I'm just square to him, but he's like, where's Square? Come here, Square. Knocking on my door, Square. So I guess that's just his little pet name for me.
Right.
But he was laughing all the time, and I saw a different side of him, how affectionate he is, how his love for kids. I can't remember if it was his nephew or someone he adopted as a nephew, but was on the set quite a bit, and how attentive he was to him. him, and I just saw a completely different side of him, and like the public stuff, and that made him even more attractive, more charming.
When was the last time you thought about it?
Actually, just like a few weeks ago, I was talking about it.
Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to like work closely with somebody and then they're dead. You know, then they're not here anymore.
I couldn't believe it. I thought it wasn't true. Even when I remember waking up and I had a MTV on and I was reading what is the Chiron.
Right.
I didn't think it was true. I thought they got their information. I got it wrong. I couldn't believe it. And I remember calling management trying to find out and finding out that it was the truth. It blew me away. I mean, it's just the same when, obviously they're two different things, but when I saw Magic on the news and he had this big announcement, I was thinking, what's going on with Magic?
Right.
Because he was, friend of the family. We'd have dinner at my brother's house, and we'd all have dinner together, and then the next thing he's announcing this thing, and I couldn't believe it. It's just, there's no way.
Right.
It is just, I couldn't, I can't find better words than I was just in such shock.
Do you like that movie?
What movie?
The movie you were in, Tupac.
Poetic Justice?
That film you starred in. Your first major feature.
You ever see? Who's laughing?
I'm straight up. I think it's funny. No.
I like the message.
Do you like the movie?
I like the message. I like the message. See, it's hard for me to say because I think it could have been, obviously anything could be better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
That's why it's so hard, and I like the message and what it was saying. I enjoyed watching it. There were times when I thought it dragged here and there. But see, it's so easy to sit back and say, you know what? It should have been this and this and that. But what a task that is for John. To write it and to direct it, and you've got all these people breathing down your neck, telling you to hurry. I mean, toward the end of us filming, we were shooting 7 days a week without a day off.
Oh my God.
And it was tough, and he had to edit certain things, and there were lots of things that we were supposed to shoot that we didn't get a chance to shoot because we were running out of time, and a lot of stuff was going on. So it's a tough thing. It's like, it's so easy to sit back and for me to say, well, he could have done this, and that. I'm not a director.
Yeah, right.
So I enjoyed the character, Justice. I enjoyed all the characters. You know who I really miss? Also is Joe Torre. I haven't seen him in so long, and for a while we kept in touch, and he would come by the house, and I really miss him.
You talked to Regina King and all?
I run into her from time to time. Last year I ran into her. I like her so much. She's a sweet girl.
Yeah, she didn't get any praise for that movie, and I thought that was one of her best performances.
No, she didn't.
Because I think
she's
I
a
think,
very
she must
good
just be
actress.
like that, so she wasn't really acting; she was just acting herself. I think people think stuff like that.
She's probably,
Yeah.
but she's a wonderful actress. I enjoyed her in Jerry Maguire.
Oh yeah. You were supposed to get that role, weren't you? Weren't you up for that role?
Yeah, I was. Actually, I auditioned. And they said it was really tough for them only because they didn't know if they could separate the character from the singer.
I'm sure that wasn't the first time you heard that, right?
No. And I always have to sit back and say, and maybe that it says a lot about me, maybe. But I said, please, I really need to know the truth.
Right.
Is that the truth, or are you trying to spare my feelings? Was it something else? Because that's the only way I'm going to grow. It's the only way I'm going to learn. And they said, no, that truly was it for us. So I said, okay, just as long I need to know the truth with everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Not for anyone to try to kiss my ass and make it easy.
Alright. Have you heard any of Michael's new stuff yet?
No,
None of it?
not a thing. No, I don't even know when his album's coming out.
Well, what if he called you right now and said, want to do another duet? What would you say?
I can't.
Why?
I don't have time.
Oh, come on.
I
Like, you
swear
could
to-
just lay down some vocals real quick or something.
I swear to you, Craig, I do not have time.
Okay, well, what if he, so there, but would you ever do another duet? I mean, what do you think about
Would I?
Scream 2 or something?
No, I don't think I would. I like what we did together,
Okay.
and I like to leave it at that.
Mhm.
I thought the video was wonderful. I thought the song was wonderful. I like. Come in.
Sorry to interrupt. One trivial question. All my girls at the party. For the girl,
Uh-huh.
cutting it in half. You want the bass drum under it?
Edit. 4, 3. Yes.
But you want the bass drum? Right.
Yes.
Can I ask you a quick question though?
Sure.
When she comes in and starts talking about packages and stuff like that, does it ever embarrass you?
No,
No,
as a
because
matter
he
of
knows he's
fact.
on that
Why can't the man speak for himself?
No, he
God.
can't. Because that's all we do is talk about sex.
Oh, really? Okay. So that's why.
Because we
but
don't
that
do
makes-
because we don't do anything.
That makes perfect sense, you all's relationship, like if you say that, because she keeps bringing it every time. I mean, I can ask her about, oh, so what did you eat today? And then, you know, so.
No,
Not
that's
that,
not
but it's just
true.
you brought it up so many times. I haven't even said
No,
anything
because I
about
said
that.
stroking someone's head, and then I thought about it, and I started laughing.
Right.
Right?
And I
That's
wasn't
right. That's
even-
exact. That's
Right?
I wasn't
exactly-
even at that place, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So she
that's-
never pushes her in, like, when was the last time she's done something that shocked you? That you were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she wants to think about that or write about that.
Well, actually, there's a song on this album called "Would You Mind?"
And what did she say?
That when I saw the lyrics, I was a little bit. I don't know.
A little bit what? What's the word?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I'm really curious, Jimmy.
What was I? What did I say? Didn't I
I've
say I
started
was
some
going
shit.
to? No, didn't I say? I said I might have to.
I
I said I might have to do a clean version of this. We might have to
that's
clean
right.
this one up.
You
Remember
sure
that?
did.
What do you say?
It wasn't as bad as it was going to be, too.
What do you say?
You already edited it
I'm
yourself.
dying to know now.
It wasn't that bad, though, was
No,
it?
it's I'm totally. No, it's just the first time you sang it
It's.
because. the
Oh, that part.
thing, yeah.
What is
That's
it? I'm dying to know now.
Because here's the thing about Janet that I think is so cool, is that when she's singing these lyrics sometimes, she does it in such a soft, sensual, innocent voice that it takes a minute to figure out, wait a minute, what is it she actually saying? You know? Which I think is really cool.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's what, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and that's exactly what he said. He was like, well, for some reason when Janet talks about sex, it doesn't seem like, you know, kind of brash or in your face. Because
Right.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
So what does she say on the song?
Oh, she
Well,
can tell you.
Or let me play it for me later.
You know what? He hasn't
I haven't heard
the single.
anything. I haven't even heard.
Oh,
the
really?
single.
Okay, okay.
I just
So-
heard like the opening little interlude with the package thing. You know? And look, now how's this for setting up your biggest star publicity campaign? I had to get this off the internet, download the lyrics, and that's the only thing that
Oh,
I knew
that's
about
great.
the whole thing. Yeah,
That's great.
and that's kick it off this. Like, no lyric sheets, no whatever, no new bio.
Yeah, internet is good.
I know, right?
That's where I go to find out all my Janet information.
Right.
I do sometimes. Okay, we're working on that.
Thank you, Jimmy.
In the last Vibe interview, you said that you two hadn't spoken in 2 years, and everybody's like, oh my god. How long has it been now since you all actually have spoken?
I don't know. It's been a little while, but not like that. It's been a little while. I actually don't know.
No.
And see, what people seem to not understand, I mean, it's really crazy. It's crazy being in this business, and it's not that there was any beef going on between us. And I think that's what a lot of people wanted to believe, that we were having differences, and that's why we weren't speaking.
Right.
Sometimes things just get so crazy, and before you know it, time has truly passed.
But But can't you understand how that sounds crazy to a lot of people?
I know
like
it
they're
does.
like, these people have cell phones, two-ways, pagers, this and
I
that, all
kn-
these people.
and you
How
know
can't
what?
they even hook up to, you know what I
You
mean?
know what? And and they're right.
Mhm.
They're absolutely right. But with my family, we're really different in that way. It's like we all report to mother.
Okay.
She's the main connection. She is the connection.
Right.
So it's like you call mother and you see how all the kids.
Everybody else is going,
Because
right?
everyone calls
Checks on
mother.
her.
Yeah, every week everyone calls mother.
Mhm.
So it's like, how's all good, fine. And then the minute somebody needs you, if you tell them that you need them, they are there. And that's the most important thing to me.
Right.
Not how often you speak.
You're talking, right?
Yeah. It's that they're there when you truly need your brother or your sister.
Now, also at the time of the last Vibe interview, you hadn't seen your nephew. Now there's a niece in the picture. Have you seen both of them?
Yes.
You said it so defensive. Now, I'm just asking these questions.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I see. They're beautiful.
What are they like? Like, what are they like? How?
Very sweet.
Mhm.
Very, he's a good guy.
Really?
Yeah, he's a very well-managed.
Did you?
I'm sorry, I'm going to come back over that. Very well-managed children. He's a really good father, and he has a great relationship with them. I mean, they listen. They're seem like very happy kids.
Hmm. Did you see the thing, like, he was giving a talk somewhere and he said that he couldn't get a date or something? He wishes that he could, it's hard as a single dad to try to find a date or something.
No, I missed that.
Yeah. Recently, I guess he's giving talks on children's welfare.
Oh, really? I missed it. I totally know I didn't see that.
Maybe you can hook him up with one of your friends or something like that. Let me see, well, since I haven't heard the new album, I can't really talk to you about it. Actually, I need to go to the restroom now. You must have, like, an incredible... Kind of exhausting, isn't it?
What, interviews?
Yeah.
How
I
long
don't like
have you been
those.
going?
I don't know.
What did you say?
I don't like, like, for me mostly it's really just about the music, you know? I just don't care about people, whatever.
Right. I feel it.
Very rare. Let's talk about some rumors. Can we clear up some rumors? Be in your voice and everything like that. Just stuff to rest.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm assuming some of this is about me.
Actually, it wasn't.
Oh, okay, that's why I was
We
like,
can-
okay.
we can-
No.
Okay. Did you insure your butt for $14 million after a fall? That doesn't really matter set?
No.
Is there any truth to that? Like,
No.
okay. No truth at all?
No, there's no truth to that.
Okay. Talk about the shot at one thing that just, it seems to kind of recur and like, you know, because like I always talk to people about, because, you know, I'm not like you said, like we were going to talk gossip, like I'm not really that into gossip, so I was talking to people like, oh, well, what have y'all heard about Janet? Because I'm talking to her and she can clear up whatever and everything like that. And there's a rumor that you may have a child or something that you haven't said.
That keeps resurfacing too.
And it seems like that's hot again now.
They say it's in Europe, or then they say that I let one of my brothers and sisters raise.
Yeah, I heard Reeve.
I've never had a child.
Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. Wherever rumors come from, somebody who's just messy, I suppose. I don't know. I have no clue. I really don't.
Do you understand why people actually? I mean, there's some people that I talk to that just believe it, like, you know,
They
yes,
saw
her
it.
name is this and that, and she's lived with this, you know, and she's 17 years old, and she's this and that, and
Yeah.
everything, you know.
I have no clue. Yeah, I have no clue. I've never had a child.
And I can imagine. I mean, I'm just talking for me. It's like I actually want children, you know. So it's like I would, and of course I can't have kids. So it's like, but I just think that if I could, I don't know, at some point.
Why?
I mean,
Okay.
I can't give birth. I
Oh, I
can
see.
father a child. Or die.
I see what you're saying.
So I don't know. At some point, I think like if people, you know, if like I don't think I'd want people to like be talking about me that I may have a child, and I actually don't have a child, and I kind of want one. That would sort of like bug me, you know.
You know what? Sometimes I think I'm kind of crazy, Craig, because there are so many things I think that I should probably get upset about that don't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are times when things do bother me, but for the most part, I just brush a lot of things off. I really do, and I don't know if it's just part of my personality, or if it's because growing up, I already saw all of this
Okay.
with my brothers.
Right.
So I'm used to it in a sense. It wasn't necessarily about me, but now that it is, it's no big deal because I saw my brothers go through it, and I know that
Right.
it happens, and you just move on,
Right.
and you ignore it and move on.
Well, one, like the woman that had the most chapter and verse about the child, she was saying that, and I can't believe anything she says now because, she had said she wasn't married for so long, and then turns out she was married, so how can I ever believe anything she said? I mean, what do you think about people now that feel like your credibility has somehow been off because you had actually flat out said that you weren't married when you
I
really were?
totally understand that. I totally understand that. But I did that for certain reasons. That was to have something for myself. That was to have as healthy of a relationship as I could possibly have. To give it a chance, for there to be no negativity, for it to be. There's no way it was going to be normal, but to try to make it as normal as possible. Meaning, by being in this business, there's no way of having. But I mean, we lasted for 8 years. We were together for 13. That's a pretty long time. And unfortunately, it didn't last longer. But if that's how she feels, then I can't change her. And I'm not sitting here begging her to change her either.
But that's the thing. I mean, it seems like it actually did. I mean, your plan to not tell anybody. I mean, it seems like it did work. Like,
Yeah,
that's a long time to have a relationship,
And if that's what it takes for me to protect myself and to try and have something healthy and something good and something normal, then so be it. And if it upsets her, then I'm sorry that it upsets her in that way. But I'm gonna do what I need to do to take care of myself and to protect myself, whatever way that is.
I think it seems a little. Not the word of it was, but like, for so long, it's like people, a lot of people, unless they were like big fans of yours, they didn't necessarily know about Renee or know anything. You know what I mean? They just didn't know.
You mean that we were married, you're saying?
Not that you're married, but just who he was or whatever. Like they didn't necessarily know that he was the guy who directed such and such video or anything like that. A lot of just your regular fans, not your adamant fans, just did not know.
Right.
But it's just like sort of with the last album and stuff, it's like that was, I guess, the point when that relationship was kind of most visible and, getting credit and everything like that. And then sort of like, and then there wasn't that long before the relationship dissolved after that. I think that's one of the things that kind of like piqued people's interest because it was like they really just didn't even know. And then
certainly they knew
they
all
sort of
stuff.
know all this stuff, and then all of a
Then all
sudden
it's over.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right. I can understand that. Well, as far as our working relationship being more visible, that really was on my part. Because I didn't want to continue working together unless I was able to give him the credit that I thought he truly deserved, and that he really didn't want to tell me. And I told him that I wouldn't be able to. I said, look, then we can't work together. We can't write together unless you get credit, because I refuse to take credit for things that you've done.
Yeah.
Because then that when someone says, how did you create this, and I'm sitting up there lying about it, that's screwed, and that doesn't make me feel good.
Right.
When I know that was his work.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I met him once at your Janet concert, where I had really messed up tickets. And I was just walking around the venue. I was like, oh, wait a minute, isn't that, and I just went over, and then he gave us, like, front row seats. Yeah, so it was great.
Yeah, that's something that I do every show, every tour. Because a lot of times I save those first 2 rows for the true diehard fans.
Yeah.
Because before you know it, you have people sitting there that still, first of all, pay a whole bunch of money for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just sitting there with no enthusiasm. And
Right.
you draw you can only see so many rows.
Yeah.
And I feel like the kids that have waited in line all night long, these should be their seats,
Yeah.
not your guys' seats. So
Right.
that's when I said from now on, the first 2 rows are going to go to Die Hard fans.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing out of everybody's mouth is, well, mother, you're going to have to eat those. And that's a lot of
Right.
money. It's like, so what? Big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids waited a long time. And unfortunately, I don't know who those exact kids are.
Right.
But you know when you're when they have those, what do they call it? Bob Euchre?
What?
The Bob Euchre seats?
Oh, right.
Or Bob Broker? I can't
I don't know if I remember.
And on top of that, he doesn't even care. It's like, oh, right, next question. Whatever.
No, but then I know you do that at the fan club, because then I found out that you, like, have priority seating or stuff for fan club members. So then when the Velvet Rope came around, I joined the fan club.
Oh,
and I got good tickets. Yeah.
buddy.
And I got great tickets for that.
Oh, good.
Are there any secrets that you have now that, like, you wish you could share, but, you know, you can't just because either it's nobody's business or that you just know it would kind of bring you the wrong kind of attention or something?
Well, I think if it's nobody's business, I don't think you really wish you could share it.
Yeah. Well, didn't I say either? I said either. I said either.
You did, actually.
Because it's nobody's business, or because it's just something that you just feel like it would just cause too much attention or whatever, the wrong kind of attention. Anything you wish people could know about you, but they just can't because, you know, it's just...
No, nothing that I wish people could know about me, but they just can't. I mean, I think everybody has things, some things, but nothing that I wish people could know about me that I feel like that needs a long time of attention.
For you, is there a difference between, like, telling, you know, a public lie, like telling people, you know, that you're not married or whatever, or telling, like, a personal lie to somebody that you know, or, like, that you have a relationship with or something like that?
Is there a difference?
Well, I'm asking for you, is there a difference?
Like, it would be so easy for me to tell a friend a lie? Wait, you're kind of
No,
confusing
that's not
me.
what it's... Okay, I'm going to restate the question exactly what I
Okay.
said. For you,
Yeah.
is there a difference in telling sort of a lie to the public and telling a lie to somebody that you actually know? I don't know how much clear... I don't think I can make it any clearer than that. Like, in your mind, do you
totally
justify
understand.
it differently? Do you know what I mean?
I totally understand what you're saying. But
Okay.
see, it's the thing about me being married and that being...
You don't see it as a lie.
See, it's tough because if someone asks you, are you married? You say, no, that is not telling the truth.
Right.
Straight point
Yeah,
blank.
right.
But see, there's so much more behind it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes up the difference for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, it's touchy. Craig.
Tell me. Because it seems, just talking to you this little bit, it seems like that would be hard for you. It does not seem like, as much as you seem to value honesty.
Every time someone would ask me about it, I felt like crap in saying no. But I felt I needed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we had decided to protect what we had.
Mm-hmm.
To, like I said before, try to be as normal as we possibly could, at least in this part of our lives.
Right.
And it didn't feel good saying no.
Mm-hmm.
But I was protecting something that was so important to me that I truly, truly cherish.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's so hard. And you know, like your colleague was saying, and I don't know what I could totally understand where she's coming from.
Right.
And it doesn't upset me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that going into making that decision. I knew that some people would feel like that. Yeah. But this is what we felt we needed to do.
Right.
And we went ahead. That was the decision. We went ahead and did it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think, that's, because there are ways that, you live, love, have sex just like everybody else. But there are some things that because of who you are, that you experience things a lot differently than other people do. Like we had talked about the thing with, like being able to, like, decide who's within your immediate who you work with, like, sort of sometimes having to do things like maybe, not tell the truth even though that goes against who you are, but it's working toward a greater value in a way,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And I was also thinking, you've probably experienced, like, betrayal in ways that other people just could not possibly, yeah.
I had.
And what is that, like, what does betrayal feel like to you? How do you experience it?
You know what, Craig? It is one of the most, because that, like I was saying, I when it comes to friendships and loyalty, that's the right one. And that's so important to me, and family, and for someone to just betray you, whatever the reason may be, that cuts so deeply. And I don't know if it's even deeper than what it would be for the average person for myself, because of, unfortunately, my career.
All right.
It's a lot greater. With trusting and friendship, and who do you let in your circle, who don't you let in your circle, who you want to let in your circle, but yet, and you like them so much. And I'm not saying something that someone you want to be intimate with,
Right.
but just as you just are just so taken by this person, but yet there's that fear.
Right.
How many years does it take before you let them? How many years is it before the next thing you know, someone that is within your circle, you can't trust, or something? It's on a much greater scale. It's hard. It's very hard. It's really tough. It's really tough.
So it's sort of like it keeps coming back to this thing we were talking, like the very first thing we talked about, and like relationships and the decisions you make each way going along. And like I guess when you meet new people, you're always like thinking, can I tell this person this thing? Can I let this person this far? And you're always, so it seems like you're constantly in a state of like evaluating people and evaluating yourself to see, how close they can get.
How close you can get with it. And everyone needs friends.
Right.
Everyone needs someone to talk to.
Right.
You need to at times, are you busy? I just need to vent for a moment.
Right.
Everybody needs that person
Right.
in their lives. And it's who do you do that with? Do you hold it inside? If you hold it inside, how is it going to manifest itself? Who can you cry to without seeing it in the paper in the following week? It's hard. And that's why I think I love relationships so much, and I value them, as opposed to just, not to say that there aren't other people in the world like me that are 9-to-5ers that value them as well, but that's why when I find someone, I hold on to them for dear life. When I feel that someone is truly there and truly has my back, that's important to me, because I know where I'm coming from.
Right.
I know that I'm not sitting here with an agenda. I know that I'm going to be there for that person through thick or thin.
Right.
But do you have an agenda? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you hanging around here for?
Right.
Why are you really so nice to me? Are you truly a nice person? It's really tough. And that also is tough when it comes to finding relationships. Wanting to be intimate with someone.
Well, that's what I was wondering when you were talking earlier. Having sex with guys and stuff. Like, aren't you kind of scared that some guy's going to go, oh, I just had Janet Jackson, oh, shit.
Of course.
So how do you even deal with, how do you even, you know what I mean? How do you even
I deal with
that?
it the same way. It's just a matter of I've been very fortunate. That's all I can say. And I've had guys eventually page me and say, you know what, no one has to know. Oh, God. And because they understand
Right.
that could possibly be a fear, and maybe that's what's getting in the way. And maybe that is what's getting in the way. Or maybe I just don't want to be with them in an intimate way. In that type of a
Right.
intimate way.
Right.
I just want to keep it strictly platonic.
Right.
But it's really, really hard. It's so hard, and I've been very, very fortunate to have the friends that I've had, to be able to trust the way that I have. I don't have many that I truly consider friends and that I tell. Is that
A lot of noise.
okay?
Let's see.
No, but I love how you pull it.
I'm not pulling out. Oh my God.
See? Now who's me? I think I rubbed off on you a little bit there.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know where. I don't know where. Well, it's not called scooch.
I don't know what you're saying on it.
But it just makes it really tough.
Is it hard to forgive people?
No, not really. I just don't forget. I can forgive, but I don't forget. And to forgive doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to let you back in my life.
Right.
But I will forgive. And I'm the kind of person that goes back and forth. 1 minute I might be so, there it goes again. See, and I love to work.
I get paid for it.
You do.
I do. I do that.
I love to work, and I'm tired already. Well, like last night we were here till 4,
Oh my God.
and then you get up around 10,
Mm-hmm.
and you write. Then you come in the studio and you work on stuff that
So you all are still working on the album?
yeah, just putting pieces together here and there. And there are a couple of things like there's always songs that you want to do
Mm-hmm.
and that you want to get done because you just love it. You'll continue, well, at least for myself, I'll continue to keep singing until they say, okay, that's it, you got to go home.
Wow.
And so that's what I will do. And there will always be songs, there were songs on every album that I wanted to
Which is never got a chance.
record, but I couldn't because I had to get home and start with the video rehearsals or something. Well, this one's working, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Okay.
Yeah, and that one's fine.
So you said like, so forgiveness for you, you know, you're not necessarily, like you're right, I mean, that doesn't mean that the person's going to be back in your life, but forgiveness is sort of like making peace within you. So that you're not consumed with having like negative feelings toward a person or something.
Yes. But see, I also, for 1 minute, I can be very upset at whatever took place. And the very following day, I can feel so sorry for them. Not to the point as to where I want to let them back in my life or talk to them, but just my heart goes out to them. And I'm like, I get like that. I don't know why I'm like that.
I mean, is it that you're sort of mourning the loss of you in their life because you know that you could have been so much to them or so much more to them, and you know they're not going to have that?
Well, see, to me that seems like I'm hot shit, doesn't it?
No, I'm thinking emotionally. If you're a good friend to somebody and they betray you, isn't that like...
You know what? You're absolutely right. You are, but not necessarily it being that. Just feeling sorry in the fact that of what you had, the relationship you did have, the friendship
Right.
you did have, what you did share, how special it truly was, and then they may have screwed up,
Yeah.
and it could be like a death in the family. It really can be, because they're out of my life.
Right. What does out of your life mean? Does that mean sort of like, you know, I mean, they just can't, that's when they get to the level where they can't contact you, I guess. Like they can't, like the people you have in your life will not let them get to you, sort of.
If I don't want them to.
Right.
Really.
Right.
It's really boils down to. I mean, if I were to see them on the street, I'd probably speak all depending upon exactly what happened.
Right. And I guess that's another thing. I mean, most people can't decide, like, you know, who they can't have contact with, too. So I guess it's another thing that's, like, you know, different.
Yeah, being in this business is quite different. You really have to. You can either have your feet planted firmly on the ground and move full steam ahead and be okay, hopefully, or you can go crazy.
Right.
I truly think.
Now, do you? I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
Do you want to talk about Renee? Because you brought him up.
No, not really. That's why I was saying. Only reason why is because I can't.
Okay.
Because we're still going through a lot of
Mhm.
legal matters.
All right. I mean, is there anything that, like, that you want your fans or anything to know about any of the situation? Like, is there any one thing that you want to say? Because I really don't have any questions about it. But I'm just saying, is there any one thing that you want people to know as they're sort of hearing things and everything like that, going kind of back and forth, which is so not the way that they're used to hearing things about you, because you've been a notoriously private person, and like people don't really hear a lot of dirt about you. That's why they kind of make things up, and so it's like, so to actually kind of hear these things, is there anything that you want people to know?
Well, I don't know what I truly don't know what they've heard. You know, I stay so out of the loop.
Right.
I really do. Just like someone mentioned something to me the other day about Renee, and that was my first time hearing it, or something that was said about me, because I don't buy those magazines. My friends, if they do hear it, they don't mention it to me.
Right.
From what I know, they don't buy those magazines either, but they may have heard it from someone else bringing it up to them, but they don't bring it back to me, because it's just negative mess. I'm just gonna miss him. I mean, we had a great friendship, and I'm gonna miss him. That's all I could say, because we don't talk or anything. And it hurts. It really does. I never in a million years thought that this would happen. Not necessarily us not being together anymore, but just not speaking. But I guess it's best. It hurts. And all the stuff that is going on between us, I would have never thought he would have done, because it's just so different from what he's ever said to me.
Do you understand? I mean,
Do I understand what?
well,
Why?
yeah.
Why it is?
Yeah.
I think it's hurt. I think part of it may be ego. I think it's hurt. That's the only thing I can think of, really.
Mhm.
And I love him.
What's that?
I love him. I do. I love him.
How was the creative process different this time?
I feel like we haven't skipped a beat, actually, in any way. It's been good. It really has.
Want to tell me what's some music?
Sure.
Okay.
You know, just like any other person, you don't want to be used.
Yeah.
You don't want to be taken advantage of. And I believe in being totally fair and honest. And I know that probably sounds like bullshit because of what the whole thing about my marriage, but the thing is it's I consider myself a fair person, and just to make sure that I'm on the up and up, I always ask other people around me and never say, okay, this is it. I always ask someone else, what do you think
Right.
about this situation? Because if I'm not right, tell me, because I want to be fair. I want
Right.
to be honest. So correct me on this, and I always do that, Craig. And for someone to say you're being more than fair, and then for someone to think that you're not, and then just a whole other side. I think that whole other malicious side, it's for pain. And because they're hurting, they want you to hurt in the way that they're hurting. That's the only thing I can chalk it up to. And people get the point of it all.
Because it would seem just talking to you this little bit. I mean, it would seem like the thing that would hurt you most would be to betray you in public. You know, I mean, that seems like that would be the thing that would hurt you most.
Well, you know what the funny thing about it is that I remember a conversation about it. Because we obviously were married, but I remember having a conversation that, you know, I was going to find out you're married. And I said, well, the only way we know is obviously it comes from you. And I just felt like that was a way of, you know what I'm saying? Because it did come from him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a way of trying to make you hurt. You're trying to put fear, instill fear into you or something. Oh my God, I probably one person.
Right.
But I don't have time. I can understand, like we talked about with your friend, who really
Mhm.
the college. But there's a lot of things that I have to follow. I have to keep going. That's one thing. And I'm, like I said before, I'm in a much better space.
Right.
And I needed to do what I did. And I'm happy that I did. I don't know that I
You know, it's like, it seems interesting that, obviously, you know, you said, like, you're used to people saying bad things about you. And you're used to people saying bad things about your family, it's what you've grown up with. But it seems like, and so it seems like you've made peace with a certain level now. So people say, oh, she has babies, she's had lifestyle, she's had this and that. That just goes in and out. But it just seems like it must have been really sort of, obviously this has gotten to you. And it just must be really hard to know that even the amount of defenses you built up, like, something can still get over that wall. You have to then build the wall up even higher, you know?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, things can get to you. And especially because it's somebody that you were so close with.
Right.
And like I said, you know, there are times when you have, it feels like it was just yesterday that all this is happening. You feel a little bit of a sting. But for the most part, you get over it.
Right.
It's not like it's on a daily basis the way it happened, the way it was when it first happened.
Right.
And I have to honestly say, it's in God's hands.
Yeah.
It really is.
Mhm.
It's in God's hands. And whatever is going to happen from this day forward, obviously, God intended to happen. And there's something for me to learn from this. There's a lesson to be learned from this. And that, to me, is the most important thing.
Right. I mean, do you think at all, like, you know, unfortunately, like, in terms of it being played out in the public and stuff like that, that things are going to get worse before they get better? You know what I mean? Like, that you haven't necessarily reached the peak of what, if you're about to release a new album and everything like that, you know, and just knowing that people are going to want some kind of story.
Yeah.
And you don't do a lot of press and whatever, and...
Yeah, and I don't know. I honestly don't know, Craig. It may or it may not. And God knows I can't talk about it because
Yeah.
we're still going through our stuff. But I don't know. It may. It just may. But I can't let that stress me out, and I can't let it stop me from trying to reach my goals. I really can't, or else I'd be a messed up black child, wouldn't I? I'm telling you.
Well, why do you want this album out now? Like, why are you, like, what does this album mean? You know, because you didn't have to do another album right now if you didn't want to. I mean, Virgil would have been very happy about it. But
Exactly, Virgil. Well, that's it. It's albums do. Page on the contract. Albums do. I like working though,
Right.
and I like keeping busy, and I like writing. I like creating. And if I didn't have to release another album, I'd probably contractually, I'd probably do another film.
Really?
Yeah, not to say that I wouldn't want to be in the studio, but I probably would do another film. I've still never studied acting. That's something that belongs to me. And I have to find the time to do it. I'm just glad that I'm in the space that I'm in, because it didn't have to be this way.
No.
I could be worse off than what I was when I was making Velvet Rope, honestly.
Right.
The way I'm feeling, the way I was feeling then, and with the things that have gone on in just my recent past, and that are still going on. But for some reason, God is just putting it in his face.
Right.
And I'm so appreciative, so thankful. And that's really.
I know some people have said, like, listening to Velvet Rope retrospectively, like, it's kind of hard to, like, people are now trying to read into Velvet Rope. You know what I mean? Like, people are coming
They
back.
are now.
It was, she must have been talking to him about this, and that was probably saying, you know what I mean?
They are.
You know how people are. I'm just saying, people are trying to. Well, one thing that like, I'm a big Mary J. Blige fan.
Yeah.
And she recorded the My Life album, and she was involved with, Casey from JoJo. And she's talked very publicly about this. And they were still involved during that whole album. But she told me that she was talking to him on that album. She was saying, look, get your shit together or else this is not going to go any further. And that she was talking to him. And so...
Was I talking to him in the other song? Is that what you're asking? Even though we were going through things, it wasn't just what I was going through. It wasn't something, it's so funny because it's a sudden thing I think for everybody.
Yeah.
But it was for myself. It was just very good.
Like people around you knew that, though. It seems like maybe you were like the last to know or something.
They may have seen it.
Which wouldn't be surprising. I mean, we're always the last to know, you know.
I see, and when I love hard, and I belong to that until I'm so, and then if things keep happening, and I mention it, it's just not a good thing, just truly not a good thing. And like I said, at some point you gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah.
When you feel like you're being weighed down. Things change.
Alright. Is it that you're blind, or is it just that you want to believe the best in people? You know, like, which is it? That you're just a hopeful person and you just want so desperately to believe that something's going to work out, or that the thing that you see in somebody is really what they are, and that's going to actually come out as opposed to the other things that you see that you don't want to.
Eventually they will prove it.
Yeah, that good's going to conquer evil to some extent, or that the best of somebody is going to be able to overcome maybe whatever flaws they may have.
Yes. And I know the words. And there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. And
Right.
it's always work. But there's a point where you have to say that. So you know what, Jen? Because I don't know the first thing about it.
Right.
See, like I just said, my girlfriend's between Sean and my friend Chris. And they said
They schooled you.
they
got you straight.
totally schooled me. They got my ass off.
Oh, look, what was that nasty song that he had mentioned?
This is Craig. Craig, this is Marty.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
What's going on? Hey, nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Yeah.
Let me find.
I've just been grilling your girl.
I'm sorry, I didn't even say hi. Just start introducing people. Right?
She hasn't answered any of my questions. She's been very difficult. Very diva-ish. I'm just like, whatever.
Oh, you're funny. You know that's so fun. There's so much to do and so little.
Right.
Jimmy, can I bug you when you finish the page?
Now, you know he's large. He's on his two-way.
No. Wait a minute.
What songs do you have?
Well, what song did he just mention? The nasty. I want to hear the nasty one.
Would you mind?
Right. I want to hear that. That
He doesn't
didn't.
forget a thing.
I don't.
Would you mind? Yeah, I got it. I'm trying to think who I have.
What do you mean you don't have it? Didn't you
No,
record it
I
here?
have I'm trying to think what I have.
Yeah, they don't know. They
don't know.
You just tripped?
What is the scent that she has? What did you say it was again?
Empire Song.
Empire State.
You like it?
So what, if somebody doesn't like it, they just have to deal with it? It does. I like it, though.
There's nobody that doesn't like it.
No.
Yeah, that's what
They
you
say
think.
that. I know.
Like they tell you if they did.
I think they told Jimmy because it stays here for.
Remember that CD I was going to give you too?
Yes,
Bobo
John
Swinson.
B.
I got it right here.
Oh, the new John B? Or you just John B though?
Well, I don't have this new one.
Just listen. It's just I think it's just the first cut on it.
Okay.
You're gonna love it.
Okay.
What's it called?
This? Oh, it's
Yeah.
Bobo. It's Bobo Swinson Trio. It's a jazz.
West Friend. But no, the first one is T.
Yeah.
So you play John B when you're about to get busy? What? I'm just asking. I just want to clarify, fact check it. I'm just clarifying what you said. I'm just trying to get
I
my
like
fact check.
John D.
Okay. His new album is hot.
I haven't heard his new
Get it.
album. I gotta
Hot,
get it.
hot, 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 hot. Yeah.
I gotta get it.
But so you never...
Doing a song that was ages ago, which is this, and that's the only song on the album.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like I read on the internet or something.
Oh, I love you in the internet.
Go.
What
Well, like, if
year?
your people don't send me anything...
Why didn't come up in interview?
Right? Just take it from the internet. I see. What we did before. I mean, it's just, it's a.
What's it called? So, do you think Virgin's glad that you're happy now? Or do you think...
That's funny.
I mean, I'm serious.
Well, you know, from the pieces that they've heard, and I think they've only heard 5 songs,
Mhm.
4 to 5 songs they've heard, but they actually, the feedback's been really wonderful.
Wow.
Globally.
Wow.
So, from Milan, London, Paris, all over the place. So I'm happy about that. Which they were happy about the Velvet Rope too, but it wasn't just such a deep subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everyone else was wanting to escape
Right.
at that time, but unfortunately that wasn't the space I
Oh,
was
you're right,
in.
yeah.
So I did what I was feeling as opposed to let me do what music is doing at the moment. And that's
Right.
just the way I've always been. That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
The Velvet Rope, I predict, will like sell to them. Like I just think people will be buying that album to them at the time.
You know, a lot of people have said that. A lot of critics have said that.
Mhm.
That it'll be around for a very long time.
I mean, it sounds better every time I listen to it. It really does. And I
haven't
can't
heard
say
it
that.
for so long.
You should play it. Something like I was listening to it this morning, like My Need, and like just the. I mean, even
Oh
if
my
you
God,
take
My
out the
Need.
vocals, just the music alone.
Isn't the
man.
music wonderful? You know, I haven't. I don't own not one CD of mine.
Oh my God.
I know, how pathetic is that, right? Because a friend of mine was at the house and was like, Jan, I want to hear such and such. I said, you know what, you're out of luck, because I don't own not one of the albums. I don't own any of the albums.
You need to get them so you go and I'll have to a greatest hit.
Wait, you can't put that in the article, because I feel so badly about that.
Why did you just say you didn't own it?
Well, no, it's not even that. I don't even know the one.
Yeah.
Look at me whispering, and you're going to remember everything I'm saying right now.
I
No,
don't believe in the article. That be.
He said, I need to have Virgin send me all the albums, because I don't own any of the albums, Jimmy.
She said somebody was at her house and she couldn't even play My Need for him.
Oh, really?
Because I don't
Ooh,
own Control.
My Need. I love that.
Isn't that, that's
Nation,
an incredible
nothing.
song.
That was nice.
I think Velvet Rope will continue to sell to the end of time. I really do. I think. Y'all just get so quiet when I say Velvet Rope.
No, we don't.
Over for Vibe magazine. We're running a whole thing on him. This
Okay.
issue, and he said, I'll show you the transcript. He said, like, you know, with a lot of hip hop people, like you play them beat, they come in, they just do it,
You
and that
know
he had
what?
to be very patient with you all because, but he said that you taught him that like anybody could make a beat, but you have to make a beat that's going to ultimately be around, it's going to be a hit song, and he wasn't. You know, he just had to get into a different mindset. So that's what he said.
No, it's the difference between making a beat and making a song. I mean, the thing that, to me, the Janet records have all had, and to me, anybody that comes into the collaboration to me,
Which has only been
Yes.
one person so far.
which is one person so far, because he gets it,
Right.
Yeah.
is that there's, first of all, there's 15 years of history amongst us,
Right.
and you don't squander that. But there's a way that the songs have been done, and Janet's songs have always had a beginning and a middle and an end. They've never sat static track-wise. There've always been moments where the song builds.
Right.
And to just do a track that's static, that just it's a great groove, but then from start to finish it just does that, for us doesn't really work. And it doesn't work for the way she writes songs and lyrics and that. So that was the thing that Rockwilder plugged into, was that he would do a beat, and then we would take it and start building upon it and stuff. Sort of like We'll Trust to Try. You can hear where, there was no bridge, there was none of that there. We added the bridge to it, and now we're going to take, put the real strings and the real guitars and really take it to this whole nother thing.
Right.
And that's the difference to me than just doing a beat and whatever. But Rock is the bomb. He's an absolute bomb.
Such a big guy.
He is so passionate about what he does, because we're passionate about what we do, and we have a lot of fun doing what we're passionate about.
Now, there were a lot of folks that I talked to, I guess maybe Teddy Riley and Dallas Austin, I guess last year, and I couldn't have told them that they weren't going to be on this record. They just knew they were on it. Yeah.
There was a guy that called me from Entertainment Weekly that said, "I need a quote from you," and I said, "Okay. Well, we're running a story about all the people that Janet's going to collaborate with on this album." I said, "Really?" I said, "That's interesting." I said, "Because I don't think we've decided. I think she's decided. I don't think we know it."
Right.
Well, no, I talked to Teddy, and I talked to Dallas, and I talked to this guy, and this guy, and that guy, and that guy. And I said, "Really?" And I said, "Well, that's fine. If that's what they say, then that's, I can't put words in their mouth."
Right.
But I don't think at this point, we hadn't even started. We had barely done Nutty Professor song. You were still in the middle of doing the movie. We hadn't even talked about collaborations.
Were those people that you thought of like when you went back in, or it just wasn't really part of the conversation at that point?
At one point their names came up, but that was in the very, very, very beginning, even before the film.
Okay.
Yeah, like almost 2 years ago.
Right.
Wow.
I remember when we first started talking about it. Weren't we in a clothes store or something?
Where would you have such a good memory?
Remember we had a conversation about, we talked about a bunch of people, but I was somewhere. I'm trying to think of the listeners.
I know Dallas's name came up, but Teddy, when I did, yes, he kept telling me that he wanted to do it. You should let me do it.
Alone? Like he just wanted to do it by himself?
Well, that's all he ever said. I don't know if he meant alone, but
Right.
that's what he kept saying to me. And I remember saying okay, but never getting back to him about it.
That's some kind of passive-aggressive way of not having to say.
Thanks, Craig.
There's no way you're gonna be on this.
Craig doesn't just leave things, he
No, that's a way to just get the current project done. That's like, let's concentrate on this current project we're doing, which is this Black Street record.
Then we'll talk about that, which I haven't spoken to Teddy since then, since we did the video.
Wow. So what made you think of the Neptunes? Like, what made you want to? Have you actually recorded stuff with them, or that's still all being worked out?
Your first question, Jimmy will answer.
Oh, the Neptune?
Take it, Jimmy.
Okay. Actually, the Neptunes was sort of my idea, but it was actually her idea too, except she didn't know it was her idea.
Oh, because she liked the song or something?
Yeah, exactly. They did a record called Super Thud.
Right.
Oh my God.
Noriega.
Forget about it.
Right.
That record blew me away. I was like, that track killed me. Okay, so I heard that record and I said, okay, now who did that record? Okay, Neptunes. I'm like, okay, Neptunes. Then she called me and said, you got to get ODB's album.
Right.
Bomb. And I said, okay. Got ODB's album. I said, well, you know who did this? The Neptunes did this. She
Right.
said, oh, really? The Neptunes? Cool. Then I think about 6 months later, maybe 3-4 months later, I called her and I said, you got to get this album by Khalees.
Right.
He sure did.
Right?
Yes,
Neptunes
he sure
did it. And that was it. And so that's what it was. It was just, we just liked all the stuff that, and thought that, the thing too is that I think when we were thinking of collaborators, we were trying to catch people at a point where they were still excited, still not, I can't say he's had too many hits because that really doesn't have anything to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just a kind of a feel. There's a certain point sort of in people's careers where they're like excited and they're like ready for the challenge and ready to,
Right.
you know, whatever.
Like
'Cause
rock.
Like rock love.
Like
Like
rock.
we came in with high expectations, and rock, like we didn't know all the songs he had done.
Right.
But we knew, she immediately was like, Method Man,
Rock,
you got to
right.
listen to this record.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then the record that floored me was Throw Your Hands Up, Jay-Z.
Oh yeah, do it again.
Oh, forget about it. I remember seeing Jay-Z at like Mr. Chow. And my wife had seen him before I even saw him. And she was like, my husband loves that record. Because we were sitting in the Timberwolves game talking about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, you got to hear Jay-Z.
That was an incredible record.
Yeah, incredible record. So, but anyway, stuff
weird.
like that that excited us. It's
Right.
like, wow, we're excited about this. And then to have the person come in and be as excited as we are about being a part of this thing. And it's like, you know, that's what it is. So that's really what we're looking for.
Frankly, I was a little surprised. I wasn't surprised by the Rock Wilder thing, but I was a little surprised about the Neptune thing just because they've worked with so many people, and that's never been what you've done. So I was a little surprised that you were doing that.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. See, we got one. Thank you, Jimmy.
See, that's not fair.
Finally, we got one on Craig.
I've never had anything.
That's a good opinion.
You with him in the
I
room?
like that opinion. That's a good
Great opinion.
Okay.
On, like, that track.
He was on that track?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And then the
Hip-hop
first,
kid
the
making...
first,
And ballad.
the ballad, the
Would
first
You
one,
Mind?
Right.
Would You Mind? That's
That was
it.
him. Oh, hot.
So, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a chance for him to do, show another side of himself
Mm-hmm.
that he doesn't, well, obviously he hasn't thus far gotten a chance to do
Right.
with other artists. And he actually even mentioned that himself. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a wonderful guy. I love him.
Who do you have remixing the single? Nobody
Okay.
corny, right?
There's
Rock.
Rock.
Oh, okay, that'll be hot.
There's Premier.
Okay.
There's Thunderpuss. And there is Quick. That's it, right?
Y'all are gonna have Thunderpuss do the only dance mix of that?
No, I think
You need somebody flat, or somebody with a sense of R&B or something.
Actually, they did a real nice.
Oh, they did. Okay, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Their stuff is so hard usually, you know. So dun 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 dun. And that's just a smooth song. That's not like that. So I was walking, since I didn't get to go to a club last night, I was walking around and like listening to some of my favorite mixes of yours, you know, like while I was walking around and just trying to, I think my favorite is still probably the David Morales, Frankie Knuckles mix of Because of Love. I just love that.
yeah, I like that too.
And I like the Junior Vasquez mix of 24 Play. That's good. I love that song so much. I like his Make a Change dub with State of the World.
Yep.
I love that. I mean, what's so powerful about that is the way that, you know, that you can make a change, because that seemed to be what you were saying with the whole album, and it sort of sums it up right in that one thing, you know. There's a bunch of stuff. Remember when everything was Shep Pettibone? He did your entire...
Oh my God, you went, wait, now you listened to all that just before you came here?
Not today, but like last night.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my,
I'm a journalist, I prepare.
you sure are. I mean, to
Sure.
go that far back.
Like I like
The
the Miss You
Shep.
Much house mix that he did. I like
Yes.
that. That's nice. I like his
You mean
Escapade
both?
house mix.
Jimmy, yes.
Oh no!
I love Jimmy.
I like the Anytime Any Place mix. See, I like when R&B people, like people that have a sense of R&B club music remix you, as opposed to like if it's somebody that Junior's the one exception. I actually like some of the stuff he does, and he's kind of back now too. He's like really having a resurgence. But although I really did love the Jonathan Peters mix of Doesn't Really Matter, and I thought I was gonna hate that because I hate him. I mean, not personally, but I mean I can't stand his stuff. And I was just like, when I heard that record, it was just so lush, and I actually liked it better than the DJ Spin mix, even though I tend to like everything that Spin does and that whole Basement Boys can. You know, so that thing, please have somebody else do. Told me like Aaliyah was gonna be on the album or something. You all were gonna do that? Is that another one of those? No, that was not the internet. Somebody told me that.
You're kidding.
Yeah, somebody told me that. No. What do you think of Aaliyah?
I love her. I actually met her last year. We hung out.
Mm-hmm. Why do you like her? Like, what do you think?
I think she's very talented. I love her music. I love what Timberland and she create together. I love listening to her voice and it's beautiful. I think she's beautiful.
What about Missy? There were all these things that you all were going to work together too. Missy and Timberland, that whole camp.
Missy's too much. We had talked about doing something together, but we had never done it. And she kept saying, "Nasty 2000, nasty 2000," and we never did it. But she was telling everybody we were working together, and
Right.
we didn't do it.
Does that bug you when people talk about projects as if they're done? It's just like one little conversation you may have had at a
Because
party.
you never really know what's going to happen. I mean,
Right.
things can change, or you might wind up working together, and then it may not make the album.
Yeah.
So I just rather stay quiet and just wait
I
till
think
you know
it's-
for sure.
I think it's a little weird for us because we don't. It's almost like when we work, it's kind of just it's very just not exclusive but inclusive, I guess would be the word.
Mhm.
Like we know what we're doing,
Right.
And so we know that sometimes we'll do a song and get the whole song done and go, you know what, that ain't working. Or whatever. We know that when you start bringing third, fourth parties into it, sometimes they don't understand that, and sometimes I think the mentality today is to talk first and think later,
Right.
or something. I mean, people just want to talk just to say they're doing something with it, and our mentality has always been exactly the opposite of that. It's saying, just wait, it's coming, it's gonna be nice, whatever. Let the music speak for itself, let the product speak for itself. I think. I just wanted. Can I weigh in on the Aaliyah question? I love her. I met her at a party after the VMAs,
Sweet girl.
and oh my God! And I paid Janet. I said, okay, I just met Aaliyah. She's the bomb. She is so cool. And there is a desire to work together.
Wow.
And it's just I think it's maybe this isn't the time, but I wouldn't be surprised if these two do something together. I would love to see it as a fan.
Right.
I would love to see it, and I'm also a huge Timberland fan, and I would love to collaborate with him on something. If he'd be willing to do so.
Do you see her as being different from a lot of the teen singers out there? Like a lot of the, we talked about Britney earlier, then you have the Brandys, the Monicas.
Her stuff seems to me, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, harder for sure.
It is.
And that's one of the things.
It's melodic, but it's very innovative. And also she has the depth because first of all, she can dance. And
She's sexy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, there you
Aaliyah's
go.
okay.
There you go.
But she also is acting. She's got good acting.
Yeah. An incredible acting career.
Yeah. So she's I don't know. She's just someone that I just like, and she's someone, and I have no idea. I don't know. I've never talked to her about this. I don't know whether Janet is a person who she looks to, although I'm sure she is. I'm sure most women that are coming up at some point look at what she's done with her career and kind of know what I want to do. But Aaliyah, to me, out of everybody, is the one that's kind of doing it. You know what I'm saying? And she's really trying to set trends.
Right. And not just doing the same old stuff that everybody else is doing.
Yeah, which is fun to watch. It is fun to watch.
And are you kind of surprised at how quickly her acting career has taken off? Like, again, we talk about how, like, you set the groundwork for a lot of people, but what that often means is that other people get opportunities that you may not have had when you were at that point in your career. You know what I mean? I mean, do you see that at all? Like, you know what I mean? Because in a way, she's like where you were at, maybe like a Troll album or the Rhythm Nation album, and she's been able to like write off, kind of do all these other things.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about. Jimmy, excuse me for 1 second. I don't mean to be so, was that Earnhardt?
Yeah, Junior.
Who they just pulled out of the car just then?
No.
No.
This was the race today. It got rained out.
But that's what I'm saying. Did you see them pull the guy out of the car and he was staggering? He had guys on both sides of him.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah,
see
they
that.
took it. He crashed.
See, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I was thinking, oh God.
Earnhardt, yeah, okay, that was his son.
So
was
that,
Earnhardt.
yeah, Jimmy, he couldn't move. He was staggering.
Oh really?
Yes, and I started thinking that because there's another race today. I think.
Oh my God, North Carolina got beat.
You know, it's like
20.
we were also talking about putting certain things aside and saying, you know what, I'm going to do this project over that project.
Right.
And I think that's what she actually has done because she was working on her album.
Yeah.
And I think another film came out.
Queen of the Dam.
And
Now
she
the
put it
Matrix.
aside
Right.
and went to Australia to work on it. But I think that's great, though, that
Mhm.
she's moving into films. And obviously, it's something that she loves doing. She would be doing.
Right.
The other thing too is that it's interesting. When the Control record was done, someone that had, I mean, at this time, if you think about the time period, you couldn't really be an actor and a musician and be on TV
Right.
because they were separate kind of disciplines, and if you could do all of those things, if you can act and sing and dance, you'd be on Broadway.
Yeah.
Okay. It's changed a lot. MTV has changed that.
Right.
And now what you have is, if the Janet did the Control album right now and the Rhythm Nation album right now,
Mhm.
she'd have a TV show, she'd
Right.
have 20 movies, she'd have whatever, because people now accept that you can do more than one thing, and they believe it. They
Right.
believe Aaliyah as an actress, and they will buy her records, and they will watch her videos,
Right.
and Britney too, and whatever, because it's the mentality now.
Right.
But the mentality then was, she quit doing Fame
Mhm.
to do the music career. Whereas if it was doing today, Fame would be like, oh, please make a record.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we'll wrap the whole season finale around you making the record. And well, now we'll go in the studio with you. And,
Yeah.
it's a different mentality.
With Control, you all said that. Well, you said that you were trying to make an album that everybody in Black America would want and would own. So what is this record?
A record that everybody in the world will want.
As good as these kind of quotes now.
I'm telling you, you should have conducted some music with Jimmy. He's just awesome.
So the Vibe should do a feature on you guys. You all have a publicist and stuff, right?
Yeah, we do. You could title it Oldest Nerd. That would be
No, it's right. You all are like the
Oldest
new.
will last.
Oldest Nerd.
You all are the new kids.
No, we're kind of, we're not celebrating it, but it's 20 years
Right.
since the Time album.
Oh, okay.
So it's 81.
Yeah, how come I don't have one of those
Party?
box sets you all sent out? Didn't you all
Oh, the
send out?
EMI thing?
Yeah, how come I don't have that?
I'll get you one.
Okay.
I'll get you one. We're getting ready to do another one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that one only goes up to 95. Actually, that is.
Some of my albums are wearing out, like my Delma Houston album and stuff like
Okay.
that. You only
Oh,
play that
Delma
stuff.
Houston,
So
okay.
I play that album all the time. It's
Wow.
sick how much I play that album.